The following is a special presentation of ABC Sports.
Yesterday morning, Boulder residents woke up to a familiar sight. Mother Nature had dropped 12 inches of snow on their city. Temperatures plummeted towards zero. But students on campus were unfazed. Hey, as the saying goes here, if you don't like the weather, just stick around for 10 minutes. It'll change. Folsom Field, meanwhile, resembled a huge outdoor skating rink. The grounds crew working overtime to clear the battlefield. You know what? They did. Today, it's cold, crisp, with just enough bite in the air to signal that none other than the Huskers are here. Live from Folsom Field in Boulder, Colorado, ABC Sports College Football, in association with the College Football Association, present a Big 8 matchup featuring the Nebraska Cornhuskers at 7-0 against the 4-2-1 Colorado Buffaloes. Good afternoon, everybody. Mark Jones in the house, and welcome to the 52nd meeting between these two teams. Hey, Pearl Jam's going to be doing a concert here in a couple of weeks, but this game is the biggest thing on campus in '93. You don't believe me? Take a look at the Big 8 standings. Nebraska and Colorado undefeated. Nebraska 3-0, Colorado 2-0-1. The winner of this game with a leg up on a berth in the Orange Bowl. Joining me this afternoon is Tim Brand. And Tim, both quarterbacks a key to both teams' success.
Yeah, I really believe, Mark, the quarterbacks will be the focal point here today. As a matter of fact, Nebraska's Tommy Frazier, I think, is one of the best option quarterbacks in the country. He ranks right up there with Syracuse's Marvin Graves. He's run for 5 touchdowns. He's thrown for 7 more, and he's had only 2 interceptions. I'll tell you this, these quarterbacks don't make many mistakes. Colorado's Cordell Stewart, he's thrown the ball 199 times this year, and he has had only 2 picked off. I also think Cordell has a better cast of receivers, and that could be the difference in this game. There's no question CU is putting its entire season on the line here today. With a win, they can accomplish their goals. With a loss, it's over.
Stewart didn't get a chance to start in this game last year, but he's looking forward to this one. The kickoff when we come back. Well, just a few moments ago, Ragin' Ralphie all revved up and ready to go. 1,300 pounds of fury, all jacked up for this ball game. And so is head coach Tom Osborne of Nebraska. You see his record against Colorado. He's been very successful. He's been the head coach there for 21 years. Meanwhile, on the other side of the field, Bill McCartney has been the head coach of Colorado for 12 years. He's looking to improve his record against the Cornhuskers.
Yeah, he is the winningest coach ever at this school. 16-3-1.
Nebraska has won the toss and deferred, deciding to put their defense on the field. A Big 8 showdown. And this is Big 8 weather. Tom Sealer getting ready to kick. And back deep, James Kidd. It's short. Rashad Salam into the middle of the field and brought down at the 28-yard line. Starting quarterback for Colorado is Cordell Stewart. He's 6'3", 210 pounds, a junior from Marrero, Louisiana. Talked about his lack of interceptions. He's been very efficient this year. And he is number 3 in Colorado history in yards passing. The backs and the receivers. Rashad Salam is going to be starting in place of Lamont Warren. First down and 10 from the 28-yard line for Colorado. Salam off tackle. He slips, falls, no fumble, and he's tackled after a gain of about 1 yard. The tackle made by number 3, Toby Wright. Let's take a look at the offense for Colorado. A great pair of wide receivers, Johnson and Westbrook. Tight end Christian Fourier, Sean Embry, the other tight end, and Rashawn Salam, the starting tailback. Up front, it'll be Birdie, Irwin, Stoltenberg, Chad Hammond, and number 72, Derek West. The offensive line may be the most improved part of this Colorado offense in 1993. Second down, it's Salam again. Tough going over the right side, and he's brought down after a gain of about 3 yards. Let's take a look at this black shirt defense for Nebraska. The tackle made by Ernie Beeler that time. Up front, Dante Jones, Kevin Ramakers, Keneally, and Trev Alberts, the All-American. The linebackers, a good and fast crew. Ernie Beeler, Mike Anderson, and Ed Stewart. And in the secondary, they've had a couple of changes. Tyrone Williams moves up to the corner spot. John Reese will be the starting free safety. He's joined by Wright and Miles.
Toby Wright's going to have to come out of the game. I don't know what it is unless he has some blood. They're going to make him come out and change. But Mike Minter, number 10, will come in and play that rover spot, the old strong safety. There's a look at Wright. He comes out of the game. Can't tell you, for so many years, Nebraska ran the old 5-2 basic defense, 30 years as a matter of fact, and they've changed now to a 4-3 scheme. So the strong safety is called a rover.
Nebraska with the #1 rushing defense in the conference.
Yeah, but you'll probably see him pass here.
3rd and 5. Stewart on the out pattern, way over the head of Charles Johnson, incomplete. He was covered there by Tyrone Williams, and it's 1-2-3 punt for the Buffaloes on their first possession.
Tyrone Williams, who was covered on that play, moves up to cornerback on this in this game because Dumas is out, the free safety, and the starting right cornerback, John Reese, had to move over to take his spot. So Williams moves up and did a good job that time.
Mitch Berger of Colorado standing on his own 18-yard line, and back deep, number 2, Corey Dixon for Nebraska. Berger gets off a nice high punt. This is Kareem Moss. And now Dixon
Look
in
out.
front of him. He's got an alley. Corey Dixon with lots of speed. Dixon down to the 4-yard line. What a return.
Dennis Collier finally brought him down from behind, but a return of 68 yards.
So Nebraska fires the first salvo of the game, and a big bullet too.
Boy, you could see Corey Dixon break this immediately because all the Colorado guys left their lanes and took an inside route. Once he got outside, he had 2 blockers, and that's all he needed.
Lorenzo Brinkley came in and threw a good block. Here's Tommy Frazier on 1st and 10 for Nebraska. Calvin Jones up the middle.
That's
Touchdown Nebraska on their first play, a 4-yard plunge. The Huskers waste no time in getting on the scoreboard.
Boy, how emphatic is that? Boy, the big return by Dixon and the touchdown run. All of a sudden, our memories of last year's 52-7 debacle, the big win by Nebraska over Colorado.
Byron Bennett with the extra point, and it's good. And there's a feeling of stunned silence here at Folsom Field.
Hey, I want you to watch this block by the fullback, Corey Schlesinger, as Calvin Jones runs this ball in. Watch number 40. Lead up in the hole. Bang! Take on the linebacker. Schlesinger follows him up, gets a good block from Zateska. And I'm telling you what, Nebraska has been authoritative in 2 big plays.
That big punt return by Corey Dixon really set things up, though.
Yeah, but watch what happened on the punt return. Everybody runs over it. They come in and take the inside lane. If you stop right there, you can see that the whole wall is set up. He takes it inside. Bingo.
Coming into this game, Mitch Berger had only allowed 6 return yards off punts. But this one went for 68. And that was the touchdown-saving tackle right there. Boy, last year, Colorado lost 52-7. They started off in a very inauspicious way, and the same thing here in '93. Bill McCartney had his team ready for this game. He closed practices to the media earlier than usual, but so far it hasn't paid off. Sealer with the kickoff. James Kidd on the 3, and he's got an alley. Kidd with a nice return out to the 31-yard line. And
Tackle
Colorado
made by
with its second possession. Eric Stokes making the tackle. So Cordell Stewart and the Buffaloes on the field for the second time this afternoon as we approach the 2-minute mark here in the first quarter. Welcome everyone to Folsom Field, where the score is 7-0 Nebraska over Colorado. I'm Mark Jones, along with Tim Brandt, and Cordell Stewart has just fired incomplete on Colorado's second possession of the game. We just had a big punt return by Corey Dixon, a 68-yard punt return to set up the opening touchdown. Nebraska has only run one play from scrimmage, and it counted for a 4-yard score by Calvin Jones.
Keep in mind, last year both these clubs were ranked 8th in the country, tied for that ranking. The game was out in Lincoln, Nebraska, and Nebraska won 52-7. So now everybody's starting to think, well, here we go again. But if you're Colorado, you cannot panic. It's early. Stay with your game plan.
Second down and 10. Stewart on the option. Fakes the pitch nicely and has a first down. An 11-yard pickup by Cordell Stewart, showing some of his option skills right there. Tackle on that play made by John Reese and Mike Anderson. And now the near capacity crowd starting to get behind their team.
Boy, Toby Wright, the safety, went for that fake and actually rolled all the way out of bounds. Like Cordell turned it up and moved the chains.
Stewart was injured for that game last year against Nebraska. Said he was looking forward to this one. Play action going up top to Johnson. And Johnson was covered closely by John Reese. Now, for those of you that joined us late, here's a look at the big play of the game to date. Corey Dixon on a 68-yard punt return.
Now watch what happens to Corey Dixon. He takes it out and just sees the lane right away. Gets a couple of key blocks. There's 5 Brinkley. Doesn't get a good block, but just enough for Dixon to take it inside. Moves all the way down inside the 5. The very next play, they load up. They get a power offense. They ride it in. Watch number 40 lead it up in there. Schlesinger gets a good block. Bang. Touchdown by Jones.
And that's where we stand right now. 7-0 with 12:42 remaining in the first quarter. Stewart looking for CJ again, and it's over his head, incomplete. Covered by Tyrone Williams, who has moved into the starting cornerback spot because Troy Dumas has an ankle injury at free safety.
Mark, let me say this. Last year, Colorado established the most prolific passing attack in Big 8 history. Then they lost 52-7 to Nebraska. So, Bill McCartney says we've got to get a running game going. They've tried to be more balanced, and I think the fans here in Boulder are really a little bit itchy because they want that passing attack back. Right now, Cordell off to a slow start. He's 0 for 4.
Colorado with the number 2 rushing offense in the Big 8 Conference. Stewart again on 3rd and 10. Looking underneath, a flag down. Again, he was looking for Charles Johnson.
I think that's going to be holding against Colorado. I'll tell you this, right now, Cordell and the entire offense are really out of sync.
And it is holding against Colorado. A look at our officiating crew today. Terry Turlington wearing the white cap.
Holding on the offense, declined, 4th down.
So on their second series of the game, they get a first down and then now have to punt after 3 incompletions. Dixon back again to return for Nebraska. He's joined by Kareem Moss. Berger punting again. He's standing on his own 28. Berger gets off a nice end-over-end punt. It's Dixon again at the 15. Boy, Dixon is like a little jitterbug back there, isn't he? Dancing around, looking for space. A 45-yard punt by Berger, 14 on the return. As the Huskers take the field for their second possession of the game. We'll be right back. Tommy Frazier is the starting quarterback for Nebraska. He's a 6'2", 200-pound sophomore from Bradenton, Florida. And as you look at his stats, you see he doesn't make very many mistakes. First down and 10 from the 28 for the Huskers. Schlesinger and Jones lining up out of the eye. Gerald Armstrong, the tight end, sent to the right side of the formation. Jones fumbles it. It's loose. Colorado has the ball. Rodgers made the recovery for the Buffaloes. And they are in prime field position.
Last year it was turnovers that killed Colorado. Now they pull the guard. They try to get him out in front. Here comes Jones. Now watch, the very end of this, the ball is hit by Davis, the strong safety, with his helmet. Just knocked it loose. Colorado's got great field position.
1st and 10, Salam spinning down to the 19-yard line for Colorado. Rashawn Salam, a 6'1", 210-pound sophomore. Was tackled by David Noonan on that play, but Salam missed last week's game because of an eye injury.
Yeah, he gets the start today because Lamont Warren is out with a bad ankle. He hurt it last week in the big game, and Warren is the Big 8's leading rusher with 714 yards. So Warren sits out, Salam comes in.
2nd down and 7. Handed off again to Salam. He makes his way down to the 14-yard line, but Colorado with a short field to work with, Tim, because of a fumble by Calvin Jones.
Yeah, you make the field is short. It's like running downhill. Watch the head of Davis, 21, come in, and it hits the ball. Bam! Right there, knocks it loose, and Colorado's all over it. First big play for Colorado in this ball game. So far, it's got to be all defense because the offense has been out of sync.
Big play for Davis, too, after missing last week's game because of disciplinary reasons.
Well, he had a sore throat, sat out early in the week, came to practice. Doctors gave him clearance. He said, I'm still not right. He went back. They said, hey, no practice, no play.
Play action. Here's Stewart. Stewart has the first down inside the 10-yard line at the 9, tackled by Ed Stewart of Nebraska. But it'll be 1st and goal for the Buffaloes with 10:51 to play in the first quarter.
He's fun to watch, isn't he? Cordell has produced over 4,000 yards of offense here at CU. Big 8 total offense leader. But watch what he does. I mean, it's like the running man. The guy's got quick feet. He's tap dancing on the light bulb. Watch this. Bam, bam, gone. Picks up the first down, move the chains.
Stewart playing with a cast on his left hand, too. Hands it off to Salam, bouncing it outside, and he's run down at the 7-yard line. Man, you can really see the speed of that Nebraska defense. Baron Miles and Toby Wright chase down Salam.
You mentioned Cordell Stewart playing with a cast on his left arm. I said, how do they let you play with a cast? You can't. He says, well, I wear a glove over top of it. Then I put the plays up around my wrist. Nobody even knows I have a cast on. Had it operated on in May, had a pin placed in it. Says it doesn't bother him. Let him play.
Says if Cunningham can do it, I can too. 2nd down and goal. On the option. Stewart down to the 1-yard line. He put his hat down and plowed over Toby Wright, the strong safety.
See, the Buffs get very confident down here, too. In goal-to-goal situations, Colorado's had it 13 times this year. They've scored 12 touchdowns.
Pretty good percentage. 9:53 remaining in the first quarter. 3rd and goal.
Watch the big guys now up front. Birdie, Irwin, Stoltenberg, Hammond, West. These guys will get a great push off that offensive line.
Hill and Salam lining up out of the eye. Hill is the fullback. Westbrook in motion. Salam up and over, touchdown, but there's a flag down on the far side of the field.
That flag was almost thrown right at Westbrook.
And that hurts Colorado.
And I believe it is going to be Michael Westbrook, the wingback, number 81.
He went in motion, Tim. Not sure whether he broke up field or what.
See if we can see any motion here.
Illegal motion on the offense.
All right, the motion is okay. That's all right, but look. The right end, Embry just jumped off a little bit early.
Little anxious. It was a nice run by Salam to go over the top, but it's all for naught. 3rd and goal now. The ball moved back to the 6-yard line. Westbrook split out to the top of the screen. Johnson to the bottom, to the wide side. Salam the single back. Go to Westbrook. Incomplete. Good coverage that time by Baron Miles on the corner.
You know, there's been a lot of talk here in Boulder about what's happened to Michael Westbrook. Last year he had 76 receptions. This year he only has 23. Reason was last year they threw so much everybody blitzed him. He was the hot receiver. They don't need that anymore because they have a running attack. See, he goes up here, almost had it. It was really a poorly thrown ball by Stewart, too high.
And in comes Mitch Berger to attempt a field goal from 23 yards out. He's 10 of 14 on the season. They get it down, and it is good. So Berger puts Colorado on the scoreboard, and it's now 7-3 for Nebraska. Both teams thinking about oranges. We'll be right back. CFA College Football on ABC Sports, brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. Valvoline, people who know use Valvoline. Speed Stick deodorant and Speed Stick antiperspirant, the #1 for movers and shakers. And Compact Computer Corporation. Mark Jones and Tim Brandt here in Boulder, Colorado. It's 7-3. Nebraska leads the Buffaloes. Mitch Berger getting set for the kick. Corey Dixon and Damon Benning are standing on the goal line for Nebraska. He rolls it down to Benning at the 3. He picks up the wedge and runs it out to the 34. Nice return by Damon Benning. It's cold here, but John Saunders is warm in New York. John, what's up?
Exactly where you're supposed to be. Florida against Georgia. Last play of the game, Eric Zier to Jeff Thomas, but he drops the ball. Georgia had a chance to tie or perhaps win with a 2-point conversion. They lose 33-26. Meanwhile, for the 8th consecutive game, the Ohio State Buckeyes have scored on their first possession. They lead 7-3. Back to you, Mark.
All right here, first down and 10. The ball in the 34 for the Huskers. Calvin Jones up the middle on first down. He's out to the 37-yard line. Okay, let's take a look at the backs and the receivers for Nebraska. Calvin Jones, the guy who just carried the ball, is the All-American candidate. He's put together a string of 100-yard-plus games. He's joined by Schlesinger, Armstrong, Muhammad, and Corey Dixon, who had that big punt return. Up front, a pair of bookend tackles, in Lundberg and Wiegert. And that is a very strong and muscular, athletic offensive line. Second down, Frazier with the waggle. And it's intercepted at the 49. Dalton Simmons for Colorado.
Now the linesman says the ball hit the ground, that it was incomplete.
Was he overruled?
Side judge said interception. Line judge came in and said no, it hit the ground. Take another look at this thing. Boy, I tell you what, it looked like Simmons had it to me. I don't know what the heck Frazier was doing trying to throw this ball or who he was trying to throw it to.
It's 3rd down and 8. Nebraska catching a break there. Frazier to Abdul Muhammad, the first down at the 48-yard line. A 13-yard pickup for the junior from Compton, California.
Here it is again. You can see Frazier's off balance and just throws it away. Now here comes the cornerback Simmons. Does he get his hands under it? That's an interception. Hey, he should have had that pick.
And Colorado should have the ball.
At first they ruled it interception, then they said it hit the ground. I think Dalton had it.
It's first down and 10, though, for Nebraska on the option. Here's Frazier. And down goes Frazier at the 44. Pickup of about 6 yards. And now let's take a look at that Colorado defense for you. Up front, Shannon Clavel, Kerry Hicks, and Darius Holland. The linebackers, very strong, very athletic, led by Ron Woolfolk, the All-American candidate. Sam Rogers also having a very good year. And in the secondary, Simmons, Collier, Davis back after missing last week. And he is joined by Dalton Simmons. 2 tight ends in now for the Cornhuskers. Jones spins off of one would-be tackler and is close to the first down at the 42-yard line of Colorado. Tim, what does Nebraska have to do to be successful this afternoon?
Well, take a look at this. I think they have to sting the Colorado secondary because Colorado's had to move things around. For instance, Hudson was a strong safety, went to quarterback, back to free safety. They also think they can wear him down with the power eye. And, of course, Colorado defensively, they want to shut off that perimeter run and keep Frazier contained, and they want to stop that power eye. They want that challenge. They said, all right, if they think they can wear us down, bring it at us. We can stop it.
It's Big 8 football. They're going to have a measurement down on the field. And now they've decided not to. 3rd down and about 1 for Nebraska. Double tight end set. Jones the deep back in the eye. Jones gets the call, and he's got the first down. Nebraska muscling their way up the middle. Ken Meelan and Joel Wilkes doing the job up front along with Aaron Graham.
Tell you, it was a nice play by Kerry Hicks, though, the nose tackle, to make that tackle. He penetrated, he got low, took his ankles, just didn't pull him back far enough.
Colorado with the number 2 rushing defense in the conference, going up against the number 1 rushing offense in the conference.
I'll tell you this, the Cornhuskers have run the option better than anybody in the country the last 2 weeks.
3 wide receivers in now as Nebraska goes on 1st and 10. Calvin Jones busy so far this afternoon. Let's talk about Calvin Jones a little bit as he's tackled by Shannon Clavel. Jones was hurt in the opening game for Nebraska in '93 against North Texas State, and he went to wearing a knee brace after sitting out a couple of games, missed 2 games, made 1 brief appearance in a 3rd game, got only 1 play for statistical reasons, and now has come off a string of 2 consecutive 100-plus yard games.
Yeah, especially in the second half last week, he really returned to the old style, his quickness and cutting ability, and he does say that more flexible knee brace has made all the difference in the world.
And they hand it off the left side to the fullback, Schlesinger, and he's tackled by Kerry Hicks.
That's 3 tackles in a row for Kerry Hicks. He's really being active in that middle. He starts in place of Jeff Bruner, and Hicks moves up, and he's bigger, he's quicker. They wanted that in the middle. They're getting it so far.
Nebraska keeping the ball on the ground in the early going. 5:35 remaining in the first quarter. Nebraska leads 7-3. Frazier finds his tight end complete. Armstrong still on his feet. Gerald Armstrong rumbles down to the 9-yard line. You want strength? There it is, a 26-yard pickup.
What a great story Armstrong is. He's a walk-on in 1989. He played JV. He got big. He's 6'2", 225. All of a sudden they said, hey, this guy can play. Watch him now. He doesn't have enough for the first down right here, but he breaks the tackle, slides off Simmons and Davis, and all of a sudden he's got some room and moved the chains again.
Armstrong missed last week's game because of a hamstring injury. We're glad to have him back this week. Frazier hands it off to Jones. He could score. No touchdown. It's a touchdown. Calvin Jones goes airborne and finds Pater. His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon.
Hesitating call, get outside, get some blocks. They show everything going left, and all of a sudden they turn it back right. Now watch Jones. He just barely gets inside the pylon. The ball has to cross the plane, and the official says, yep, he did.
Well, he was right there on the spot to make the ruling, and he gave Jones the benefit of the doubt. Bennett now with the extra point, dodging some snowballs on the way, and it's 14-3 for Nebraska.
Watch the football, see if it breaks the plane. Referee said it did. Side judge is right there. His arms go up.
And then along came Jones to cap that scoring drive of 10 plays, moving the ball 66 yards using 4:43 on the clock. And Nebraska is keeping this crowd at Folsom Field quiet with a 14-3 lead.
He's gone over 100 yards in each game where he's been 100%, where he's been healthy. He did sit out those 2, but he is the 92 Big 8 rushing champion.
Sealer with the kickoff. This is Kidd, 4 yards deep, and he says, I don't think so. Cause for concern with Florida State. Not the score. They're leading 34-0, but Charlie Ward, their star quarterback and Heisman Trophy candidate, has a rib injury near his sternum.
They say he won't return in this ball game. They don't need him today, 34-0 over Wake Forest, and I don't think the Demon Deacons are going to pose any major threat to the Seminoles. But looking down the road is where you have to find out how serious the injury is to Ward, and will he be back next week, and specifically for November 13th against Notre Dame.
In South Bend, Indiana. Right here, it's 1st and 10 for Colorado. They trail by 11 points. Salam spinning off a couple of tacklers out to the 29-yard line. Rashawn Salam. Tim, we talked about Nebraska and their keys. What about Colorado coming in?
Well, I believe firmly that they have to avoid 3rd down and long. That's where Nebraska wants to get them in, because then they really come with it. And the key, I think, is to stay out of that situation. Nebraska's a good rush team, more aggressive than ever. I also think that they have to make the big plays. Colorado's not the kind of team that's going to have a long drive. They hit the big plays, the long passes, and I think that's what Nebraska has to stop.
Bill McCartney with 3 Big 8 titles and 1 national championship title. 2nd and 1 for his Buffaloes. Salam with a huge hole. Salam run out of bounds and a late flag now.
Oh, that's bad. You're going to call a clip, and it wasn't a clip.
He had already stepped out of bounds.
He also tried to avoid the block when he saw he was close. It was CJ that tried to throw the block, Charles Johnson. But you'll see it. I don't really think it was a clip. It's not much of a block anyway.
It was a 36-yard pickup by Rashawn Salam that time. Found some room over the left side and used it.
They needed a play like this. Stewart's 0 for 6.
And it's against the Buffaloes.
I tell you what, that's a bad call. I want you to watch the end of this play and watch number 9 coming in to throw a block, okay? Now watch his right arm. He sees it might be a clip, so he tries to avoid it. His right arm is behind him. Look, he's saying, all right, I'm going to stay away. And they called him for holding, for getting behind him, putting a right arm behind him, and that's bad.
And it looked as if Salam was already a yard or so out of bounds, and Bill McCartney is hot about that one. Deservingly so.
It's a bad call. I mean, Charles Johnson is a veteran. He knows what he's doing. He's a senior player. Now watch the top of your screen. Right now he sees I'm behind him. If I hit him, it'll be a clip. No, I'm going to stay away. Flag comes in.
Oh, they move it back a little bit. 1st down and 10. Salam cutting back that time, making his way down to the 38-yard line. Salam getting the start in place of Lamont Warren. You don't really lose that much in the backfield. Both are very fast, very quick, and good slashing type runners. He now has 8 rushes for a total of 65 yards.
Again, Mark, I want to tell you, I'm sure people looking at this score see Nebraska 14, Colorado 3. They'll say, yeah, just like last year, 52-7. But Colorado can't panic, and I think they're in pretty decent shape for what's happened. Cordell Stewart is 0 for 6. That's not going to stay that way the entire game.
Some call the law of averages. Cordell Stewart play action. Sacked back in midfield. Mike Anderson sacks Stewart. And this Nebraska defense has a lot of speed. You saw some of it right there. A loss of 12 on the play.
It's a reason they went from a 5-2 basic defense to this 4-3 was to get more speed in there. And Anderson certainly is the guy they wanted to capitalize. Watch 34 right there. That's Alberts that gets the hand on him first. That breaks up the play. Now Cordell is just scrambling for his life. And here comes Anderson, who's got good speed for a linebacker, and takes him down from behind. Very nicely done by the Cornhuskers.
Anderson goes only 230. There are only 2 guys over 240 pounds on that Nebraska defense. Colorado 1 of 4 on 3rd down conversions. Here's Stewart. Is it intercepted? No, it's ruled incomplete. It hit the turf first.
Stewart now 0 for 7. And that pass was horrendous.
Didn't look like he wanted to really go to that receiver. Wasn't sure about himself.
He's had indecision all but 2 plays today. That was one on the option where he faked it, and another time he turned it up and tried to score before they got the field goal.
The ball at midfield. Mitch Berger standing at his own 37-yard line. He's got 12 punts inside the 20-yard line coming into this afternoon's game.
And he'll be trying to pooch this one, too.
Dixon standing on his own 10 for Nebraska. And it bounces back after landing at the 17. This one's down to the 23-yard line. And a smattering of boos from the Colorado crowd here. At the conclusion of today's game, we'll be selecting a Chevrolet Most Valuable Player, the game from each team. And for the 23rd year through the Chevrolet Scholarship Program, $1,000 will be donated to the General Scholarship Fund of each school. And Kansas State over Oklahoma 14-0 in the third quarter. Snyder has done a great job this year with Kansas State. Jones stopped up at the line of scrimmage that time. One of the few times that Colorado has had success against him. Kerry Hicks again, Tim.
Yeah, we talked about the change that Colorado made this week defensively. They put Hicks in front of Bruner at nose tackle because he's bigger and quicker. And I'll tell you, he has been in almost every tackle that's come up in the middle. Watch right in the middle, 94. Takes on the center, gets rid of the block, bam, tucks the tail, skies the eyes, and hits Jones with everything he has. Nebraska now 10 carries, 27 yards. So Colorado stopping the run.
Rob Zadiski, the starting left guard for Nebraska, limped off the field. And he was out of the game on 2nd and 9 for the Cornhuskers. Batted down at the line of scrimmage. Shannon Clavel got a big meat cleaver paw on that one.
What's the bottom of your screen? You're looking at number 92. That's Shannon Clavel. He just takes his guy, and Lundberg hangs with him, and then all of a sudden he sees the throw, reaches up, gets the big bear claw on it, knocks it away.
Corey Dixon coming into the game so far this afternoon. And it's still early. Nebraska, though, very efficient. They're 3 for 3 on third down conversions. 1:34 to play in the first quarter. And Tommy Frazier signals for timeout. We're going to keep it right here. Tommy Frazier last year started as a freshman for Nebraska and has really started to pick up on the offense. Let's go back to New York now and John Saunders. John?
Mark, as you know, last week Kansas State tied Colorado. Today up against Oklahoma, Chad May 23 yards to Kevin Lockett with a nice catch in the end zone. And Kansas State, yes, they are for real, leading Oklahoma 14-0. Back to you, Mark.
As I said, Snyder doing a great job coaching that Kansas State Jayhawk team. They have one of the best secondaries in the country, let alone just the Big Eight. Jim Kelly has led the Buffalo Bills to 3 Super Bowls, but they've never won it all. This season, it's been sweet revenge. They've beaten the Cowboys, the Giants, and they hope to continue their sweep of Super Bowl opponents Monday when they meet the Washington Redskins.
Bills
at 9 Eastern, 8 Central.
Bills heavily favored in that game, but the Redskins starting to get some guys back defensively. Charles Mann is back.
Right here, 4 wide receivers for Nebraska. Abdul Muhammad out to the 40-yard line and a first down. They're now 4 for 4 on 3 third down conversions.
You know, I love the way Muhammad plays. He's only 5'9", 160 pounds. He's their big play guy. He's got excellent speed. This is his 17th reception of the year. They just drag him across the middle under the linebackers. There's nobody there. You know, Abdul Muhammad has a bullet in his buttock. Had it. Compliments of a drive-by shooting, actually hit him in the upper back and then kind of worked its way down into his butt. And they said, well, it's too close to the sciatic nerve. It won't hurt him as long as it's in there. We just don't want to go in, so he still has that bullet in there.
Real courageous young man from Compton, California. And Corey Dixon is open. Dixon, he's going to take it to the house. Touchdown, Nebraska. He had a 68-yard punt return and now a 60-yard touchdown reception.
This ball is perfectly thrown, too. Watch this. He's working against Dalton Simmons. One-on-one coverage, man-to-man, sideline up. I'm even, I'm leaving. And there's no way that he's going to catch Dixon. Nice cut away from the safety. Simmons still tries to get him, but Dixon outruns him. And that ball was perfectly thrown by Frazier.
The old Colorado bugaboo raises its head again. The secondary unable to cover the receivers for Nebraska.
This game's getting out of hand quickly now. I'm becoming a Nebraska believer.
And I'm telling you, there are some skeptics around the country because of their schedule strength or lack thereof. But Bill McCartney is believing how good they are right now. Byron Bennett is dodging some snowballs. He's going to try and kick the extra point here. It's good. And Nebraska taking a 21-3 lead with 1 minute to play here in the first quarter. Corey Dixon with a couple of big plays so far this afternoon.
Frazier gets good protection on this, and I mean, he just placed that ball perfectly for Dixon. You know, it was Frazier who actually sold this play. Now, you saw the one-on-one, the down and up, but watch why Simmons, the cornerback, bites on the out. There's the pump. Now let's just go ahead deep. And he put it out there perfectly. He also got good protection. I mean, here comes Clavel, but that's like 10 minutes after the ball was thrown.
Those Nebraska receivers, Tim, not big. They all go about 5'8", 5'9". They call themselves the itty-bitty committee, but right now they have come up with some huge plays.
Yeah, and Frazier, look at him. He's 4 for 6 now, 115 yards. And Tom Osborne saying, all right, just maintain your composure. We got a good lead. Just keep going after him. Don't let the crowd or the snowballs or anything else take you out of it.
Look at that last scoring drive. 4 plays, 77 yards, 126 elapsed on the clock. But the big play, that 60-yard strike. Frazier to Dixon. And Colorado has got to get something going here. This is James Kidd, 4 yards deep. And the Buffaloes will start off on their own 20-yard line with 1 minute to play here in the first quarter. They trail 21-3.
You know, Nebraska is a tough club to get a read on. How good are they? Well, they play an easy schedule, although I know Tom Osborne and a lot of the folks in the athletic department of Nebraska will tell you that's not the case. They did beat UCLA. UCLA's proven to be a pretty good ball club, but you put them in that national title contender situation, you say, wait a minute. How good are they? Well, now they're looking pretty strong. They're making a believer out of me right now.
They felt that last week after the game, they were starting to gel. And they've hit stride early here. Lamont Warren has checked into the game at tailback, and he gets the call on 1st and 10. A nice gain out to the 28-yard line, a pickup of 8. And speaking of that Nebraska schedule, there's a look at it. They have pretty much worked their way through the tough part of it, Tim, that big game against Oklahoma on the 26th.
Yeah, you know, that 76-14 score at the top against North Texas, that doesn't show me anything. UCLA game, that was a pretty good indicator. That was 14-13. I don't think anybody at that particular juncture knew how good UCLA was. But last week, like you said, against Missouri and, of course, against Kansas State, they really seem to be hitting their stride.
They had to come from behind in that 27-13 win against Oklahoma State. And Colorado gets a first down right there. Warren running the ball again. Warren out of Los Angeles, California. He was tackled by Jones and Ed Stewart.
All right, so it's 21-3. You say, what's the problem? Well, I'll tell you this. Last year, Colorado had the most prolific passing attack in Big 8 history. Right now, Stewart has not completed a pass. 0 yards passing. What the heck has happened?
That's exactly the $64,000 question for that man right there. Warren gets the call again on that sore ankle, and he's tackled over the 35 at the 36-yard line by Trev Alberts, the All-American. It's 21-3. Surprise, surprise in Boulder.
Colorado running back Lamont Warren is out. He's injured again. He had a sore ankle. He injured it on that last play. Here it is right here. Watch. He has an alley. Looks like it's going to be a big play for Colorado, but roll it. Here comes Trev Albert, and Trev Albert actually lands on the ankle. After Fourier misses his block, he rolled it up under him, had to help him off.
Stewart being pursued, backside pressure, and it's batted down. Tremendous pursuit that time from Dante Jones, number 84. He had Stewart on the run like the fugitive. He's now 0 for 8.
0 yards. He's got to be wondering what the heck is happening too.
3rd down and 6 now. Sean Embry coming in with a play. Just underway here in the 2nd quarter. 21-3. It's been all Nebraska so far. Johnson split to the bottom of your screen. It's Westbrook, but it's about 3 yards short. A bounce pass, incomplete at the 42.
0 for 9.
And the Jayhawks, pardon me, the Wildcats continue to pound Oklahoma.
Kansas State jumped up and tied Colorado last week 16-16, and although that tarnished their record, it didn't hurt them. They could still win this and go to the Orange Bowl and win the Big 8 title. Right now, Colorado in a whole lot of trouble.
Corey Dixon and Karoon Moss back deep. Nebraska, great punt by Berger. This is Moss at the 17. Smacked at the 15. A 47-yard punt, -3 on the return. As we look at the numbers and the stats from the 1st quarter, Tim.
Couple things that jump out at you. Look at this right here. 0 yards passing in the right-hand column for Colorado. Then you go to Nebraska's column. You come down to passing yards. You see 115. When's the last time you saw Nebraska with just 27 yards rushing and the passing yards all the way up to 115? They only average 160 a game.
You have an injured player down in the field for Colorado. That's Matt Lepsis, the backup tight end. Nice to see him get up and walk off the field under his own power. Boy, Notre Dame really had some second half against Navy, didn't they?
Navy had the lead at halftime.
Lawrence Phillips now making his first appearance at tailback, and here he is. Stays on his feet. Tackled at the 16 by Ted Johnson. Phillips, a freshman, 6 feet, 200 pounds, out of West Covina, California. Another one of those Nebraska backs with a healthy 6.2-yard average per rush.
Another one of those great stories, too. You know, he started running with a bad crowd growing up in California. He left his home, became a ward of the county. Then a principal took him under his arm, turned him around, and he's a terrific kid.
2nd down and 8. Full house backfield. You know, Tommy Frazier has a little bit of Jamel Holloway in him, the way he handles the ball in that option, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. You know, I mentioned at the top, I think he's certainly one of the best option quarterbacks in the country. Right up there with Syracuse's Marvin Graves. The reason is because he sees the field so well. He makes decisions. Watch him come down the line now. He has to read the outside linebacker. He reads everybody's going outside. So he says the pitch man's covered, turn it up, and he picks a couple of tough yards.
You know, Tim, he's listed at 6'2", but we were both saying before the game, he looks a lot bigger than that. 3rd and 5. Incomplete for Abdul Muhammad at midfield. Good coverage that time by Simmons.
I don't know if they're doing it on purpose, but they sure are going at Simmons a lot.
And that defense gets a rise out of the Colorado faithful here at Folsom Field.
Keep an eye at the top of your screen. Dalton Simmons, 7, the left cornerback. He's locked on one-on-one again. He's given up a couple of big plays, but this time turns and knocks it away.
Byron Bennett standing on his own 6-yard line. C.J. Charles Johnson at his own 40. Good punt that time by Bennett. Johnson at the 30. Tackled at the 37-yard line. A 50-yard boot. 7 on the return. Nebraska with a 21-3 lead.
Bill McCartney walking the sidelines. He's got to tell his players not to panic. 2 things. Look at, if the interception had stood, and when it was 1st and goal for Colorado before, and they got that penalty, you know, this could be a different ball game. That was the first time the defense had stopped Nebraska that last series all game.
Stewart still trying to complete a pass, and he's sacked at the 25. Trev Alberts was in there first, and then Dante Jones came in to lower the hammer. A loss of 12 on the play. This defense came in with a total of 34 sacks. They've got 2 this afternoon.
You know, he was named the weightlifter of the year by his teammates. His dad is a Pentecostal minister. He's a very religious guy. But here comes Trev Albert, stops things, and Dante Jones, the son of the minister, comes in and cleans him up. But watch Trev Albert. He's the guy that's really making these plays. He puts a lot of pressure, 34, chases Stewart, and once he chases him, he chases him into the pursuit, and that's where Dante Jones takes him down.
It's second down and 22. Stewart has Johnson. Complete. A 42-yard pickup for Charles Johnson, the All-American candidate. And Stewart completes his first pass of the afternoon, finally.
Johnson gets his 38th catch of the year, too. Boy, that first completion was a long time coming for Stewart and for that guy, number 9, Charles Johnson. He's one of the best receivers in the country. This will be his 38th catch of the year. Had to readjust a little bit to make it, but that's a big play for Colorado.
Had Tyrone Williams beaten cleanly on the play. Handed off to Salam. Salam down to the 23. Tackled by Baron Miles. Salam now 9 rushes this afternoon, a total of 73 yards.
It's been an interesting series between these two. Nebraska won 18 games in a row against CU. That was before 1986, but the last 7 games been dead even, 3-3-1.
Nebraska came into Boulder very late. They practiced last night and flew in late. Here's Salam again. Finding a nice surge off the left side down to the 15-yard line. Trev Alberts making the tackle.
First down, move the chains, good blocking up front. Salam, who played 8-man football in high school, was an All-American. See, he's got great ability to see and follow his blockers. He just jumps in their hip pocket, stays with the big guys as long as he can before breaking out into the hole.
That offensive line really came off the ball, too. Stewart to pass. Throws it low and incomplete. At the 8-yard line, intended for Johnson again.
Johnson acting like he had it. But this one does bounce. Watch this. This is a good bounce pass. Again, it's low. But you know, that's an All-American that can make it look like you got the catch, though.
Charles Johnson, you know, he's already graduated. Graduated in 3 years with a degree in marketing.
I'll tell you this, Colorado's had some success running the football today, too. 98 yards. Nebraska only allows 106 a game.
Second and 10. Salam cutting back. He fumbles it. Touchdown, Colorado.
What turnaround is fair play? I didn't think Nebraska got in that first time they gave him a touchdown. I don't think Salam's in here. He loses the ball at the 1-yard line.
Oh, no.
Watch, he gets it stripped out just as he gets down to the 3. There it is. Now the ball's out before he crosses the line, and the official said, nope, he broke the plane. I don't think so.
I wonder what plane he was looking at. That's interesting.
Turnaround is fair play.
Berger with the extra point. And the Buffaloes are right back in this thing. It's 21-10, but let's take another look at this one.
Here comes Toby Wright and slaps the ball. He's bobbling it right now. It's loose well before he crosses the goal line. If I'm Nebraska, I'm fired up because I just got a bad break. Colorado got the benefit of it.
Back at Boulder, it's 21-10 on a very close call. Rashawn Salam running one in from a few yards out for Colorado. But did he cross the plane of the goal line before or after he fumbled? That's the essential question.
Well, we had that same question when Calvin Jones scored earlier for Nebraska.
And it happened in the same corner of the same end zone. Berger with the kick. Benning's going to run it out. Bounces outside. Oh, and drilled at the 23. Benning got rocked by T.J. Cunningham. T.J. stands for tough jolt.
Hey, I want to watch the touchdown one more time. Here comes Rashaan Salam. Look at Wright reaches in. The ball's loose well before he ever gets to the goal line. You'll see the official come in, and he says, wait a minute. Yeah, here's the goal line. He was across it, broke the plane. Folks, that's a touchdown. I don't think so.
This crowd fired up now. Up the middle to the fullback, Schlesinger.
I'll tell you something else too, Mark. At the end of that touchdown, there was a little extra in the end zone. Watch this. Here comes Baron Miles, 14, and he takes Salam and throws him right into the snow. Salam comes back and gives him a little.
I don't want to be a snowman when I grow up.
Oh, that's right. Boy, they've been warned a lot about this weekend, too, the behavior. They were very concerned about that. They want everybody to be good.
Some of the fans last year in Lincoln with objectionable behavior. This is Phillips out to the 34, and he'll be right near that first down marker, tackled by Brian Dyatt.
It was this Colorado defense that really got things going here. Stopped Nebraska on that last drive when they had the football. It was the first time they'd stopped them all day. And then all of a sudden the offense got some mo and scored.
The one thing we haven't talked about, Tim, is that huge Nebraska offensive line and maybe the fatigue factor if they can wear down the Colorado interior line. Play action by Frazier. Tries to find Dixon, and it's incomplete. And Dixon scores a goal in the net. Dennis Collier on the coverage. No points for that.
I can't remember the last time I saw this. He slides right into the net after he makes his catch. That's not funny. Could get hurt, but watch Dixon. Dixon actually has pretty good position here. I thought he was going to make the catch, but here he goes. Now watch. Boom, right into the kicker's net. He scores!
It's a power play goal. It's 2nd and 10 as well for Nebraska. Popplewell in motion. Frazier keeps it, and he's stacked up at the 37. You can really feel this Colorado defense getting fired up and stoked up. Hicks again on the stop. Tim, we alluded to the behavior of some of the fans last year in Nebraska. Colorado's coach Bill McCartney made a pledge and a plea to the Colorado fans that they don't want to see any kind of poor behavior on their part. No slurs, no poor comments directed towards the Nebraska players. 3rd down and 6. Late pitch, and Phillips has a first down and more. You see some of that wishbone wizardry by Tommy Frazier on that late pitch to Lawrence Phillips. Waited until the last moment before he pitched it off.
Boy, I'll tell you why this play works. Watch the defense. Watch the right hand of your screen. Now, Colorado shifts left. See him? All right, now, all of a sudden, Frazier sees that, so he goes to that side, and there's nobody there to take the pitch man. Everybody's inside because they had shifted that way. Once he got into the secondary, he got the first down. High jumper.
A lot of athletic ability on the field. 1st and 10, 8:48 remaining in the first half. A screen pass. And Frazier did the right thing that time, Tim, in throwing it away. Dyatt was right there.
I'll tell you this, Colorado had 12 men on the field, and I don't see a flag. One guy was trying to get out of the ball game. It was Hicks. Now there is a flag over in the 30.
Way on the other side of the field.
You take big old Hicks, he's 6'6", 260, he was lumbering to the sidelines and never did get off on time. So Colorado essentially had 12 guys on the field.
Tough to hide when you're 6'6" and 270. And the infraction is against Colorado.
I'll tell you this, too. I think the coaches get part of the credit for that. It was a late substitution.
Illegal substitution. 5-yard penalty. The player did not participate. First down.
It's time once again for our Coors Light Fan Picks College Football Poll. Just call 1-800-932-3000 to vote. Once again, Florida State is on top. I want to mention again that Charlie Ward was shaken up in their game this afternoon. John Saunders will have an update for you on that at halftime. Schlesinger, Phillips, and Cluster Johnson in the backfield. And now some motion. The counter. Phillips. Tackled at the 39-yard line by Dwayne Davis.
Well, you know, when Nebraska loads up and brings the guard and tackle on the counter tray, it's scary. I mean, those guys are huge, and they come out and lead that thing around. If you're the guy that has to close it down and stop them, you're in a world of trouble. Look at this. Here comes big old 76 and 72. I mean, Weigert, 72, is 300 pounds. Wilkes is 280. Good grief.
Baby's got back up front. Lots of red beans and rice. Phillips again. Tackled by Dyatt. The clock running with 7:55 remaining in the first half. Nebraska leading 21-10.
This will be another big third down play for the Colorado defense, trying to fight their way back into this game. It's been all Nebraska.
Early on, Nebraska was very efficient and very proficient on third down conversions. They're 5 of 6 on third down conversions so far. Full house backfield. Frazier on the option, and they'll be short of the first down, or close to it. No, they got it.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. With lots to spare. I think that's what made Frazier so talented on that side. He knew exactly where he had to get. The 35-yard line is what his target was. He knew he had to get to the 36 for the first. Watch this. He knows he's got to get to the 36, takes it outside, not only gets to the 36, but goes after the 35 for his target, steps inside, bang, first down.
We got to look at Tommy Frazier earlier in the year against UCLA. He was limping. He was noticeably a lot slower, less explosive, but not now. He is going at a 100%. Frazier on the play action. Almost intercepted. Matt Russell had it, lost it, had it, and lost it.
It's amazing to me. I can't tell you what Tommy Frazier's looking at. He definitely sees big old number 16 Russell right there and throws it to him. If Russell could catch, he'd be gone. No, I tell you, Matt will be the first guy to really get angry at himself. Look, he says, what the heck am I doing? I know I can catch.
Sets up second down and 10.
Colorado trying to stop the nation's third-ranked rushing attack.
And Tommy Frazier, who leads that attack, calls timeout. Nebraska leads by 11 on a sunny, crisp, cool day in Boulder, Colorado. Hey, you know where to get college football. Next Saturday, ABC Sports regional action. Many of you will see Louisville take on number 8 Tennessee. In a Big Ten battle pits number 3 Ohio State against Wisconsin, plus a key Pac-10 game. Check for the game in your area. The game's available on PPV. Jones now back in the game. The deep back in the eye. They give it to the fullback, though, Corey Schlesinger.
You know, Calvin Jones got a good long break there. I remember talking to Frank Solich earlier in the week, the offensive coordinator for Nebraska. He said he wanted Jones fresh for the fourth quarter, so he wanted to rest him at the end of the first half and in the third quarter. So he's now had his rest. He'll also sit down a little bit in the third quarter, so CJ can be fresh.
Jones out of Omaha Central High School. It's the same high school that produced Gale Sayers.
Doesn't have big numbers right now.
Third and 10. Timeout again for Nebraska.
Play clock was down to 4. His guys weren't even close to being set, so Frazier said, I better take a timeout here.
Tom Osborne has come to epitomize everything that is Nebraska football. Right now they lead. Just an absolutely beautiful late fall day for a college football game. 21-10. Had a little snowfall a couple days ago, but it is clear now. Frazier with the inside pitch. And Jones is brought down to the 33 by Shannon Clavell. So they're short of the first down. And will they go for the field goal?
What a huge play that was by Clavell, too. You know, they say he improves every week. He had 40 tackles, 6 for losses, 2 fumble recoveries, and an interception. They tried to use that little Utah pass, and Clavell just shut him down.
It's a high percentage pass, but that time Colorado's defense had it read well. In comes Byron Bennett now to attempt a field goal from 50 yards out. He is 6 of 7 on the year, has a long of 48. This would be a career best. He's got leg, and it's wide to the right. He had enough on it, but he was off to the right. And the Colorado defense breathes a sigh of relief.
Well, there's no question it was wide, but boy, did he ever get a lot of leg in that thing. Normally, when you're going after a long field goal like that, it takes some of the height out of it, flattens it out. But I tell you, he got all of it, just left it out to the right side, just pushed it.
There appears to be a bit of a swirling wind here, so we're not sure whether he had a wind at his back. Salam on 1st and 10. Weaving his way for about 4 yards, and he's tackled by Ernie Beeler. Beeler 5'11", 205, a senior.
No flag. The fans booing now. They wanted offsides on the defense. They thought that Nebraska jumped a little bit on the interior line.
Salam, Tim, 12 rushes, 103 yards. His career best is 109 against Stanford earlier this year.
You remember his dad? His dad played in the National Football League, also played in the CFL. Harold Washington, before he changed his name to Sultan Salam.
You are the doctor of knowledge, aren't you? Stewart, incomplete, and there's one that Rashawn should have caught. Cordell Stewart, boy, this is not a typo from our stat man Roger Riley. He is 1 of 12.
Yeah. You know, you mentioned earlier that Salam had missed some time because he had an eye problem. His eye's okay now. He took a shot which knocked everything loose, and he was seeing double everywhere he looked. Double vision. Might have had a little bit on that pass.
Yeah, it's tough to catch a football when you're not sure which one to catch. 5 minutes left in the first half on the option. Salam. Cutting back more and more, and he's brought down to the 43, a first down for the Buffaloes.
And that run right there has this house on its feet. Everybody's up.
Salam now is a total of 121 yards, and we have a player down who now gets up on the turf. And
it's Salam. Tell you why, got all tangled up in that pile at the end of the play. Just running with a great deal of confidence, a lot of authority. He averages 5 yards every time he touches it. But watch some of the cuts he makes. He has the outside but says, wait a minute, here I come. I'm going to go against the grain and try to get them running past me. He does, but watch how he gets caught up here now. Refuses to go down. This is what got the fans excited, but it also got Salam hurt.
Stewart checking off at the line of scrimmage. Salam again, trying to square those shoulders. And a late tackle and no flag.
Boy, I tell you what, I would have thrown a flag on that. Coach is really upset. Players upset.
Tyrone Williams was in the area and received a stiff arm.
Well, the stiff arm is legal, though. That's a good play by Salam. But then he got hit late after he was way out of bounds. Watch this. All right, that hit is okay, but watch. Number 3, right, the safety loads up and hits him out of bounds.
Hit him right in the head.
No flag.
Ball's on the 38-yard line. 4:23 remaining in the first half. Second down and 3 for Colorado. And a timeout down on the field. We have some whistles as James Hill checks into the Colorado backfield. Bill McCartney in his 12th year. He's coached 136 games.
Talking to Toby Wright, the Rover, strong safety. They're going to make him leave the game for a few minutes. I don't know why.
And there was no flag.
Well, once again, Mike Minter comes in. They're looking at something on his hip. I don't know what he's carrying down by his hip pad. Maybe he's not wearing a hip pad and they're going to make him leave till he has the proper equipment.
It's not like he's fixing anything on the sidelines there, though.
Oh, but did you see they were looking down on his hip?
James Hill, the lone back. Complete to Charles Johnson. Johnson tackled right near the first down marker by Baron Miles. First down, Colorado. A great set of receivers. Charles Johnson and Michael Westbrook. Just look at the numbers. They tell the story. Westbrook with 121, and Johnson with 107. And we've talked about Westbrook's receptions being down this year. And Tim, you explain why. He's not the hot receiver this season.
Well, they don't really have a hot receiver. Teams aren't blitzing him as much because they're running so much.
And they run it again here. Salam over the 30 down to the 29-yard line.
Somehow we have to get an update on Toby Wright, the strong safety. They made him leave the game. I'm not sure why, but he hasn't come back in.
Ed Stewart made the tackle on defense that time on Salam. 3:38 remaining in the first half.
There's a look at Wright. He's just socializing right now.
And you can bet they didn't pull him for that.
He's going to come back in, though. He put that helmet back on.
2nd and 8. Stewart out of the backfield, completes it to Salam. Oh, can I get some fries with that shake? Made a nice move, but couldn't shake the second guy. And he's tackled by Williams at the 27. Salam showing some of his receiving skills out of the backfield that time. Made a nice move, but brought down by Williams. Williams, as we mentioned, moved up to the starting corner spot. John Reese moved into the safety spot.
Last week, Kansas State used an 8-man front against CU. It worked. They took some risks, and Buffalo never made them pay. Nebraska's been doing some of that.
3rd and 5. Salam, nice tackling that time by Toby Wright.
He's back in.
And he let Salam know about it, too. Less than 2.5 minutes to play in the first half.
I can't figure out why they made him leave.
Mitch Berger now coming in for Colorado with the clock running. Berger going to attempt a field goal from 43 yards out. Berger, 10 of 14 coming in. He's made one this afternoon. Coming out of the hold of Duke Tobin, the backup quarterback. And it's wide to the left. Berger missing that one from 43. He was 2 of 5 from that distance. Make that 2 of 6 now.
That was awfully close. You know, the ball has to go over the top of the upright. That's awfully close.
I wouldn't want to have to make that call.
Well, remember now, back judge is sitting right under the upright. He's looking straight up. And right away, he makes the call and says it's wide.
1:53 remaining in the first half. 1st and 10 for Tommy Frazier, Nebraska. The option. Jones back in. Calvin Jones down to the 31.
Well, as we talked about earlier, it was a pad on his tailbone and on that hip. Didn't wear his girdle pads, and so they said, hey, listen, no pads, no play. Get out of here and get some, and he did for his own protection.
Now, how many times are you going to see that one called in a year?
Well, you very rarely do. I remember my senior year, I very rarely, if ever, wore pads there, knowing that if the referee saw it, he would make me leave.
Jones again brought down to the 34.
Nebraska with no timeouts left.
And coming up at halftime, lots of scores and highlights on the Prudential Halftime Report. John Saunders with all of that and more for you. We approach 1 minute remaining in the first half. Nebraska came out and stunned this crowd early in the game. And they lead by 11. To the short side of the field, Frazier, a flag down. Back at the 38. We'll have to see what that's about.
I think it's going to be holding against Nebraska.
Frazier on the option. Nebraska hasn't thrown a lot this afternoon, but when they have, they seem to have made it count.
This looks more complicated than holding, huh? Face mask.
Against Colorado. Let's take a look at it.
Take a look right over the center. You want to control his head, move him out. Bruner just reaches in, grabs the face mask, pulls him down. Says, hey, Aaron Graham, you're going down with me. I got your face.
And it's a first down, Nebraska. They can still get in field goal range. There's a lot of time left, 45 seconds. 3 wide receiver look this time by the Huskers. Frazier looking for Dixon, and Dixon had the quarterback beat. He had Collier beat, but he was overthrown. Boy, is he fast.
Another flag down. Again, Nebraska has no timeouts left. Bennett's career-long field goal is 48, so they have to get down to the 31-yard line. And this won't help. This is against Nebraska.
Osborne sending the play in from the sidelines.
6 men on the line.
Watch the all-22. You watch the safeties. The safeties all of a sudden go to the left. Hudson, 47's back in the midfield. That means one-on-one coverage with Collier and Dixon. Fortunately, the ball was overthrown for Colorado. Unfortunate for Nebraska because Dixon was open.
And Tim, that penalty against Nebraska was their first this afternoon, so they've shown a lot of discipline this afternoon. First and 15. Frazier completes the pass to the near sideline. That's Abdul Muhammad out of Compton, California. Pickup of 17. And a first down for Nebraska. 35 seconds to play in the first half.
Clock stops long enough to move the chains. Already Nebraska up on the line. Again, Bennett's career long is 48 yards, so they need to get down to the 31 to be in his range.
That wasn't an easy catch by Muhammad either. Backside pressure, but he gets rid of it. Oh, he had his man open, but couldn't find him. Popplewell was underthrown as he had run a slant pattern and was open. 24 seconds to play in the first half. One of the few times that Tommy Frazier has missed very big this afternoon. He's 6 of 12, a total of 133 yards. Frazier over the middle, tried to find Muhammad, and it's incomplete. Wasn't even close that time. And the clock stops with 21 seconds to play. Still trying to get into field goal range, but they had to get the first down.
Again, Tommy Frazier walking up and down the line, calling the play. Aren't going to go to a huddle.
The biggest improvement that he's made has been his passing this season. Really has a firm grasp on the offense. He's also the team's second leading rusher. 3rd and 10. They have to get the first down. He's going to try and do it himself. And he can't. Tackled at the 43-yard line by Shannon Clavel. The big guy really moving well that time.
5 seconds left. They aren't going to get this out. That'll end the half.
So that was the last play of the first half. Nebraska, buoyed by Corey Dixon's punt return, got off to a good start, and they lead 21-10 here in Boulder. It's halftime. Back in Boulder, Colorado, the score as we look for the beginning of the third quarter, 21-10, Nebraska leading Colorado. Tim, this game has been characterized by controversial and close calls right from the very beginning, actually.
I don't think there's any question about it. Nebraska got out to an early start, but I want you to watch this. This was the first touchdown that was controversial. Now, they say he got inside the pylon there. The side judge is right on top of it. It looked to me like he was way outside, but Calvin Jones was awarded the touchdown anyway. You see the side judge pointing to the pylon. Now here comes Salam, and they say that he got across the plane as well. But you'll see number 3 right, the safety right here, stripped the ball out. He's bobbling it at the 3, loses it here at the 2, and the side judge comes in and says, hey, hold on. You can see it. He was across the plane. That's a touchdown. 2 very controversial calls. 2 touchdowns I don't think should have been awarded.
And then there was the interception that wasn't ruled an interception by the officials on a potential Colorado play. Tom Osborne's team coming in at 7-0. They are undefeated, 3-0 in the Big 8. Bill McCartney's crew 4-2-1 overall. They are 2-0-1 in conference action. And here's the kick for the third quarter. Corey Dixon tackled at the 22-yard line. I look at the first half statistics. Things pretty much even all the way down the ledger, Tim, especially time of possession. That 1 turnover for Nebraska.
Well, they are. I want you to see 146 yards rushing for Colorado. Most of those belong to Salam. That's unheard of. They only give up 160 a game. Salam has 130 of those. And then, of course, the success of Nebraska to be able to pass. 2 biggest numbers there in the statistics.
They give it to the fullback, Schlesinger, on first down and 10. He has about 5 yards, pounding behind his center, Aaron Graham. He's tackled by Sam Rogers that time. Rogers is a guy who has benefited this year because people have run away from Ron Woolfolk. Rogers coming into the game with 5.5 sacks.
I'll tell you this. Nebraska's offense in the first half was really impressive. 539 yards offense last week, really in sync. They came in here and they put 21 first half points on the board.
And they come out in a double tight end set. Dixon in motion. Frazier on the option. Look at those feet. And Tommy Frazier has 1 man to beat. And he's run down by Rogers. And that may have been a touchdown saving tackle.
Frazier is hurt. He's up. But I'll tell you, he's in a lot of pain, and it's his right shoulder. 26-yard game, but that could be costly.
Sam Rogers is 245 pounds, Tim, and it looked like all of it, and then some landed on that shoulder.
Rogers is big. As a matter of fact, at one point in his career here at Colorado, he was a nose tackle. He had a huge game last week with a sack and 13 tackles. But he comes in here, and you'll watch the way he lands. He goes, and his whole body is on top of Frazier, and Frazier has all that weight come right down on that right shoulder. You see him wince into pain immediately. So they change quarterbacks, and Behringer comes in.
Brooke Behringer, 6'4", 205 pounds, a sophomore. He's 14 of 19 on the year. Jones on the handoff. Off tackle on the right side of the line. He has about 4 yards, but that last play could prove to be critical for Nebraska.
Well, Behringer is a sophomore. You mentioned his numbers. He has 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. So he's actually made some pretty good decisions while he has been in the game. But you're right. There is a lot of pressure on that young guy coming into this game against Colorado. Medical staff still working on Frazier, but at least Frazier's walking around now. But I tell you, that right arm doesn't look good.
No, he's not moving it at all.
They're going to take him in.
Schlesinger fumbled it for a while and then got it back. You'll often see that, Tim, when you bring in a new quarterback.
They're taking Frazier into the clubhouse. They're going to have a look at this. They're going to have the doctors take a look, get those shoulder pads off.
Frazier, more than just the leader on the team, he's a spiritual leader as well.
Biggest concern right now is if, in fact, that right shoulder is separated. If anything is torn or if it's separated.
We'll hope to pass along a report on Frazier as soon as we get word. For now, Behringer's the man. Dixon in motion. Looks for his tight end, and it's incomplete. Gerald Armstrong dove for it, but couldn't hold it in. Now, Behringer has played in all 7 games this year, but he hasn't thrown a lot.
This is a very football-savvy crowd here in Boulder, too. They know the impact of that Rodgers hit on Frazier, and Frazier going out of the game. They are really in tune now with this ball game.
Byron Bennett going back to punt.
It's a great spot on the field for a fake. If you're on the defense, you have to be very well aware of that.
A footnote. He has 8 punts inside the 20, and he aims for the coffin corner here, and he doesn't get it. Bounces into the end zone, and Cordell Stewart's Colorado Buffaloes will get the ball on the 20-yard line, and you can feel a little momentum swinging their way. It's 21-10, and let's see how we got there. Calvin Jones, after that big punt return by Corey Dixon, punched it in from 4 yards out. Berger came back for Colorado with a 23-yard field goal. And then Jones again over the top on that controversial call. Dixon again with a big play on the out and down pattern. Then Salam on another close call for a touchdown. And it's Salam again. Over the right side of the offensive line, running over Tony Birdie and Heath Irwin. He was tackled by Trev Alberts and Terry Keneally.
What a game Rashaan Salam is having now. 137 yards on the day, and we're only early in the 3rd period.
He came in with a total of 399. 2nd down and 3. Westbrook and Johnson split to the same side of the field. But it's Salam in the single back set, and he'll be about a yard short of the 1st down, tackled by Toby Wright. Wright's been all over the field this afternoon.
He sure has. He caused that fumble we saw in the controversial touchdown. But you mentioned it'll bring up 3rd down and short, and that's the key for Colorado. They wanted to stay out of 3rd and long at all costs because Nebraska is a good rush team, more aggressive than ever. And now by bringing up 3rd and short, Nebraska really can't lay their ears back and come.
Fumble on a snap. Stewart was lucky to fall down on it.
Cordell has really had a tough afternoon.
Hasn't he? He's 3 of 14 passing, and they fumbled the snap there.
He just dropped it. Look at that. Never really had it. Pulled away. He's lucky he got it back.
Berger into punt. Dixon back deep, along with Moss. Berger with a returnable punt. This is Dixon. Looking to get outside. Corey Dixon, the prime minister of that itty-bitty committee, returning at 13 yards. And Nebraska with the ball in good field position when we come back. Well, it is Brooke Behringer's team right now. He's from Goodland, Kansas, 6'4", 205 pounds, a sophomore. This is his 2nd series after Tommy Frazier, the starting quarterback, went down with an apparent shoulder injury. He's back to pass. Had Dixon and couldn't find him. This game has plenty of implications. Here's a look at the Big 8 standings. The top 3 teams. Colorado at 2-0-1. Nebraska undefeated at 3-0. Oklahoma losing today against Kansas State. The winner of this game would have a leg up on the Big 8 championship. And of course, an automatic berth in the Orange Bowl. 2nd down and 10. 3 receivers. Phillips in the backfield. Behringer on the option. That's Phillips. One out of bounds at the line of scrimmage. Back to New York now and John Saunders. John?
Mark, in the WAC, things are getting interesting at the top here. Under a minute left, Joey Hughes to Mike Jones for the touchdown. Wyoming knocks off Fresno State to remain undefeated in the conference. San Diego State looking to do the same, but they trail Utah by 4 with about a minute and a half left. Mark.
All right, back here in Boulder, Colorado. Nebraska leads the Buffaloes 21-10, but a turn of events lately. Tommy Frazier, the starting quarterback, injured.
Defensively, you have to know right now, he's not going to keep the ball on the option like Frazier would. So look for the pitch when he runs that. He does have a live arm.
In the flat, incomplete. He tried to hit Phillips and was about 3 yards short. He's 0 for 3 now.
Tough spot to come in. Frazier goes out. Behringer comes in. He did play in 5 games last year. Utah, Middle Tennessee State, Oklahoma State. He played in the Colorado game, of course, when that one was out of hand, 52-7 the final, and he got some playing time against Kansas. But for the most part, it was cleanup duty.
It's going to be interesting to see when and if Tom Osborne changes his strategy because of his new quarterback. Charles Johnson standing on his own 10 for the punt. Bennett aiming inside the 20. And it's marked at the 19. A 32-yard punt. Osborne's team still with the lead. CFA College Football on ABC Sports, brought to you by Chevrolet, who invites you to see all the new Chevy cars for 1994. And Visa, it's everywhere you want to be. Well, the Husker fans and mascot doing a little dance, and why not? They lead 21-10 in this huge game that has bowl implications. Cordell Stewart checking off at the line of scrimmage on 1st and 10. He hands it off to Rashawn Salam. They string it out nicely, Nebraska does, and make the tackle at the 18, but there's a flag down at the 20. Trev Alberts, the All-American, in on the tackle that time for Nebraska.
Colorado players shaking their heads. This will probably be marched off against them for holding. It is. Right now, CU not taking advantage of the opportunity they have with Frazier out. Defense has had 2 big stops now. With Frazier out of the game, the offense has been unable to move it.
Holding on the offense, 10 yards from the end of the run.
Still amazing to me with all the success that CU has had running the football. You know, they still don't have many points on the board. Get him to throw. I know Stewart's struggling today, but still. You know, it's 3 for 14, but let him get out there and throw. He's your guy. He's the focal point. He's the money player.
This has got to be his most miserable game of the 1993 season. Tommy Frazier now coming out of the locker room.
That right arm looks like it's brand new.
He's got a nice looking gait there. And he has his helmet on too. Here's his counterpart going up top for Charles Johnson. And it's picked off. Baron Miles with the pick of Cordell Stewart's pass. And the Nebraska defense comes up with a big play.
That ball was so poorly underthrown. That was a gift. Watch Johnson. Gets even right now on Miles. He's ready to run by, but Miles readjusts to the ball. It's underthrown, and he makes the pick. Stewart has gone 90 pass attempts without an interception before this one.
And look who's back in the game. He came back to claim his team, Tommy Frazier. He hands it off to Lawrence Phillips that time. So the report on Tommy Frazier is that he has a strained shoulder.
I tell you, you have to give these doctors a lot of credit. When he left the field, he could hardly move that arm. Now it's like it's brand new.
You can bet he's still feeling some pain, though. 2 tight end set for Nebraska. Frazier on the option. Slides off of 1. How tough is Tommy Frazier? That tough. And now to our other tough guy, John Saunders in New York.
Mark, Southern Miss facing Alabama. Brian Bergdorf in for Jay Barker, who's injured, to David Palmer, who sometimes catches him, sometimes throws him, or just runs him in. 26-0 the lead there. San Diego State needs the win. They now lead Utah 41-38 to remain tied atop the WAC. Mark.
All right, John, the story back here. Tommy Frazier coming back into the game after 3 series by his backup, Behringer. Lawrence Phillips again on a little misdirection, and they go in the wrong direction. Colorado defense reading that one well that time. The charge led by Sam Rogers. and Shannon Clavel. Tim, the last few times that Nebraska has had the ball, they have gotten the ball in good field position, but have been unable to move it.
Right now, the Colorado defense is playing very well. It's swarming to the ball, running to the ball. Of course, with Behringer in there, they knew he wouldn't run on the option. If he did anything, he'd pitch it. That helped him a little bit. But now with Frazier back and looking like he's feeling pretty good, now you've got to be very concerned about his run again. You also know that when you go to tackle him, you have to wrap him up.
Frazier has a man open, Dixon, and he overthrows him. There's a pass that Frazier wishes he could have back.
Well, I tell you, it's a nice play, too. It's well designed. It's the option throwback. Look, he's coming down to the right side with the option. All of a sudden, here is Dixon. He's the backside receiver, just runs a post, and he's wide open. This should have been a touchdown. But this play was set up by Frazier. It was the option. He pulled up, and he did have some pressure on him. Just overthrew it.
Let's remind everybody, but that it's his other shoulder, not his throwing shoulder, but the left shoulder that was injured. He's going to pass again. He threw a duck incomplete for Abdul Muhammad.
Well, I tell you this, Frazier got tagged pretty good again, this time by Ron Woolfolk. Take a look at this, and Frazier feels it too. Left-hand side of your screen, number 56, Woolfolk. He sees he's got a free shot at him. Boom, come in and make him pay. Next time, Frazier will be looking for him. Here's what I want you to do. Just watch Frazier's head after the hit. It almost comes off.
Byron Bennett now in for Nebraska to attempt a field goal from 52 yards out. It would be a career long. And that one is no good. It may have been tipped at the line of scrimmage. Another look at this, Tim.
Watch the middle of your screen, a free safety, number 47. He'll get some elevation. He's an All-American candidate, goes up and blocks this field goal attempt. What a great effort. He's 5'11", 190 pounds. He leads the league in interceptions. Now he gets this block. They've moved him around. Look at 47 get up. Oh, my.
Oh, that was definitely touched, yes. Chris Hudson.
Moved him around from strong safety to cornerback to free safety, and watch 47 go up and locate the ball. Once he locates it, knocks it away. That is a great, great play.
Hudson should have had an interception against K-State last week. He's been thinking about it all week. That play cost them a touchdown, but he comes back here with a big play. Stewart, short again for Charles Johnson.
I can't figure out what's going on with Cordell Stewart.
And they're booing him.
Johnson was wide open. There was no pressure on Stewart, and he bounced it to him. He's now just 3 of 16 with an interception. Very uncharacteristic of Cordell Stewart.
James Hill bringing in the play from the sidelines. And Tim, once again, we bring up the big question. Michael Westbrook, where is he? They haven't gone to him that many times this afternoon.
He has absolutely no catches.
And he lines up in the slot. They have 2 wide receivers down to the bottom of your screen. James Hill, the lone back. And he tries to find Hill, but it's incomplete.
Just listen to the crowd.
And we'll go to New York now with John Saunders. John, they're not booing you.
Mark, the Ohio State Buckeyes against the Nittany Lions of Penn State. Butler Binote here from 4 yards out for the touchdown as Ohio State stretches their lead over the Nittany Lions to 24-6. Mark, let's go back to you.
A lot of pleased people in Columbus. John Cooper's gone through everything with them. Right here, 7:40 remaining in the third quarter. Stewart, incomplete again.
You know what's amazing? He's totally lost his confidence. So McCartney tries to set him up with a high percentage play where he hit Hill out of the backfield where he only has to throw it about 10 yards, and he even overthrows that.
Tim, it almost seems, and you tell me, you're the analyst, is he aiming the ball? What is it?
He has no confidence now. McCartney's right now saying, hey, what's the deal? His confidence is rocked. Bill was trying to help him there. He put in a very easy play for him just to hit the back, and he couldn't even do that.
Now 3 of 18, still stuck at 51 yards total passing. Dixon and Moss back deep for the punt, and Berger airmails this one. Moss tackled at the 25-yard line. A 50-yard punt. Wow, anything in the air that long should have a stewardess on it. We'll be back. Tomorrow night, perish the thought. Superman's identity could be known all over Metropolis. Or can Clark Kent keep it a secret? Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman at 8, 7 Central, followed by Peter Falk as Columbo. It's all tomorrow night on ABC right here. 21-10 still. Tommy Frazier back in the game after being shaken up. And he's shaken up at the 23 and down.
This Colorado defense is doing everything asked of it right now. But Nebraska with a tremendously balanced attack today. Nebraska's run the ball. Look at this, 132 yards. They've passed for 133. You can't get any better than that.
I'll second that. 6:59 remaining in the third quarter. But other than a few big plays in that first half, the Nebraska offense hasn't managed to move the ball with any consistency here in the second half. Frazier's got an alley. And he's still on his feet. Tommy Frazier fighting his way to the 44. A first down for Nebraska. Frazier brought down by Dalton Simmons. A 21-yard pickup, and you see some of his strength there as well.
Well, we said this earlier. When you go and you tackle Tommy Frazier, you have to wrap him up. You can't try to give him the knockout punch. He reads very well. All of a sudden, he sees that the pitch man's covered. The alley's open. They don't wrap him up. He spins. You saw Davis get knocked off of him, and all of a sudden, Simmons comes over and finally takes him down. But you have to wrap the arms.
And no accident that Frazier has 78 yards today, because he is the team's second leading rusher.
These guys average 6 yards a carry.
Frazier to pass this time. Wide open. Abdul Muhammad. Muhammad with a first down to the 22. Frazier laid it in perfectly. He's brought down by John Knutson.
Frazier's coming out, and he's saying, my left arm is hurting again.
He's holding it down.
His right arm, rather.
Coming to the sidelines, now going back in.
It's amazing. He said, hey, come here. Somebody put somebody in for me. My arm is killing me.
Let's see what happened.
He wasn't hit that hard, but that's when he said, hey, take me out. My arm is killing me.
Coach said, no, you're doing great. Get back in. That's Phillips running off the left side of the line. He'll gain about 3 yards, brought down by Brian Dyett. You know, Tim, we still haven't seen that much of Calvin Jones. He's getting a lot of rest.
Every time Frazier hands it off, he grimaces in pain. He was reaching for his shoes and pulling up his socks. That's always a great indicator for an athlete that he's hurting.
Calvin Jones trying to get loose on the sidelines. This is the type of game that will take a lot out of you, not only emotionally, but physically. The toss to Phillips, looking for a hole, waiting. Nothing doing that time. Back to New York and John Saunders for an update.
Mark, San Diego State in Utah. San Diego State scored with 1:15 left. Then a 58-yard drive, 6 plays, 53 seconds. Mike McCoy 17 yards to Greg Hooks. And Wyoming is alone in first in the WAC. Mark.
The Wild WAC, high scoring. What'd you expect? Right here, Tommy Frazier, though, Tim, still looks like he's injured a little bit.
He really does. After the last 3 plays, he's looked over to the sideline and shook his head.
4.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. They go to the fullback this time, Corey Schlesinger, and he's tackled after a gain of about 3 yards. Frazier looking at the sidelines once again.
Well, he's looking for the play now, but he still has that right arm just kind of hanging limp.
You talked about the way he looked after each play. Do you remember Jim Brown? He used to look like he was dead after each play, but he'd come back and get a big run. But then again, there's only one Jim Brown. That's Tommy Frazier.
4th down. They've had their way with this Colorado defense during big plays. I'd go after it. They are.
They're 7 of 9 on 4th down conversions this year. 2 tight end set. Phillips, 1st down and more. Down to the 4-yard line. And Nebraska with another 4th down conversion.
Look at Frazier now. He got better in a hurry. Get that big play, get down to pay dirt. Watch all the black shirts. They just sell out here, but the blocking is outstanding. As a matter of fact, Ted Johnson, 46, the linebacker, was pushed completely out of the play. Great blocking by the Huskers here. That sets up the big run, and Phillips takes it down to the 5.
Full house backfield. Nebraska's been extremely efficient in the red zone this year. Schlesinger, nothing doing up the middle. Got back to the line of scrimmage.
Mentioned the red zone. Nebraska scored 30 of the 32 times the offense has gotten inside the 20-yard line.
That is money in the bank.
This is the #1 offense in the nation. It averages over 40 points a game.
3 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. Second down. Goal to go. Frazier sacked back at the 9. Shannon Clavell in on the tackle.
Frazier again packs that right arm to his side. Boy, you don't think they were keying on Frazier this time? Great containment on the right side by Rogers, number 90, and then Clavell, 92, tries to make Frazier pay.
Timeout down on the field taken by Nebraska. You know, you've heard of Mr. October. Well, Nebraska might be considered the Team October of college football.
Husker football. Look at this, going back to 1986 in October.
27-0. The last loss, interestingly enough, against Colorado. Right now, though, it's trick or treat on Colorado. Oh, boy.
Pumpkinhead.
Let's go, Nebraska! Let's go, Huskers!
Let's go, Huskers. Right.
Got great supporters, don't they, Nebraska? They brought about 4,000 people to this game. And what a job Tom Osborne's done. Nation's winning as active coach, over 200 wins.
Always with that stoic look on his face. You know, he was doused by Kevin Ramakers, the defensive tackle, after his 200th win against Oklahoma State. The next day at practice, he walked by Ramakers and said, hey, somehow, some way, I'm going to get you back.
Yeah, he's a gentleman's gentleman. Personifies class. Here's a big 3rd down play now for Nebraska.
And look at the current drive, using up 5 minutes on the clock. Into the end zone, picked off. Intercepted by the Colorado defense, number 22, Dennis Collier.
Frazier has not felt comfortable this entire series. This is an ill-advised pass. Collier gets his 3rd interception because Frazier does pull up with the containment, tries to force it into double coverage, and there's Collier playing underneath to make the pick. Threw it right to him. It looked like it was intended for Collier.
And he paid the price.
Frazier had to pay the price, you're right. He gets a pretty good lick right there by Clavell.
Cordell Stewart still in at quarterback. Rashawn Salam near the 1st down, but there's a flag down back at the 20-yard line.
And I believe it'll be against Colorado again. Holding.
He was pushed out of bounds by Toby Wright of Nebraska, having a strong game.
Fourier is asking the official now, what the heck did we do this time? Oftentimes that means he's the guilty party.
And it's against Colorado. 2:12 remaining in the third quarter. Still 21-10. No scoring here in the third quarter. Osborne.
Holding on the offense. Spot of the foul. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Tim, here's something we haven't talked about. As we look at Cordell Stewart, if you're Bill McCartney, do you consider pulling him at any time?
Well, I think if it doesn't get any better here in the next couple of minutes, I think you certainly have to consider it. Look at this. He's 3 of 18, 51 yards and an interception today. And on that last series, he couldn't even hit the back 10 yards away.
He's had better days. Salam gets about 5 yards back on that play, tackled by Stewart and Beeler.
This new 4-3 defense that Nebraska runs, the tackle and nose guard tie up the run. The outside linebackers, they rush the quarterback. The 3 linebackers and the rover, they blitz or help the cornerbacks, and the free safety cover receivers. And this is lets Nebraska get better use of their team speed.
There's a look at Vance Joseph, the backup quarterback. He looks too comfortable. Doesn't look like he plans on coming in anytime soon. Stewart. Incomplete, intended for the tight end, Sean Embry.
You know, the thing that happens when you lose confidence, it's not only your throwing ability, but all of a sudden you start to get blocked vision. You're not seeing the field. Look at the linebackers just in a zone coverage here, and he's still trying to go after his tight end. Now you're just throwing it right in, and Anderson, who's a quality linebacker, he runs over and breaks it up.
It's the second week in a row that offensively Colorado has struggled. It happened against K-State last week. They're faced with a lot of blitzing.
Well, I tell you this, right now Stewart's got a bad case of the Ophers. He's 0 for 5 with an interception in this half.
3rd and long, and a timeout taken down on the field by Colorado. They now have 2 left. I want to remind you that the winner of this game is in a good position to win the conference championship and move on to the Orange Bowl in Miami.
Still working on Tommy Frazier's right arm. After every play, he was wincing. He was looking to the sidelines. He was shaking his head. Keeping ice on it in between the series.
Pretty gutsy for him to just come back into the game.
Behringer warming back up, which means Frazier probably won't be back the next series. Well, I'll tell you this, too. That ice pack they put on that arm, that gets even colder when you're sitting here in Boulder surrounded by snow and the temperature right around freezing.
And let's not forget that Nebraska still has a big game after Colorado. They meet Oklahoma later in the year. Phillips also, his best buddy is the ice pack.
He's got a painful hip pointer, but they say he could be back.
They can always go to Jones. They're pretty deep at that spot, though. 1:26 remaining in this period. Stewart runs it. And Stewart will be about 2 yards short of the first down.
Got to punt it.
Yeah, they send in the punt team. The fans are yelling go, but I don't think that's a good move.
No, you're in the third period. You've got a minute left to go in the third. You're backed up to your own 28. Get it out of there. Defense has been playing pretty well. And plus, you got the young quarterback coming in, although they don't know that yet.
Osborne's team with an 11-point margin. Dixon and Moss back deep. Berger punting from his 20. Back to the 32. That's Dixon. And Dixon is brought down at the 42. Meanwhile, Tommy Frazier keeping warm. And once again, going back to the locker room.
I've got to believe he's done this time. He came out, he tried to go. Now they've got it iced down. He has no pads on. He'll stiffen up, he'll get cold.
Well, he gave it a shot. Threw that interception. And it really cost Nebraska. That could have put the game a little further out of reach for them. As it stands now, as poorly as Colorado has played offensively, they're only down 11 points. But Nebraska has the ball right now with 34 seconds to play in the period. Behringer back in the game. They keep it on the ground with a fullback, Schlesinger. Schlesinger came into the game with a total of 122 yards and a touchdown rushing, tackled by Ted Johnson.
But here's the difference now with Frazier gone. He ran the ball for 74 yards. Frazier did. That helped this offense, this Nebraska offense, tremendously. He was only 7 for 17 with an interception throwing the football. So with Behringer, I think you lose that running effect, and it pretty well negates things here for Colorado.
We'll see how many tools they're going to use and how much they have left, but we'll have to wait until the fourth quarter. 1 quarter to go. We'll return with more action between Nebraska and Colorado after this message and a word from our ABC station. In the shadows of the mountains in Boulder, Colorado at Folsom Field, the score in this Big 8 showdown between Nebraska and Colorado, 21-10. As we get ready to begin the fourth quarter. This is the first play of the period, and Brooke Behringer is the quarterback for Nebraska. Tommy Frazier was injured, has gone to the locker room, and appears to be done for the day. They hand it off to the fullback, Schlesinger, straight ahead, and he'll have a couple of yards. Cordell Stewart, meanwhile, his counterpart across the way, has had a very rough day passing the ball.
How about this? Those are his numbers for the day, but in that last quarter, the third quarter, Colorado had only 23 yards total offense, and that was all on the ground, none passing.
Neither team was able to score in that third period as well. First half ended 21-10, and that's the way it stands right now.
You would certainly think that Colorado would have an advantage now with Frazier out of the game, Behringer coming in. What you lose is a running quarterback, so now you don't have to worry about him as much on the option. Lock onto the pitch man and put pressure on him when passes.
Nebraska trying to improve their overall record against ranked teams over the last 5 years.
This is what I was talking about earlier, though. Nebraska is so hard to read as far as being a national title contender because of the schedule that they play, and against ranked teams they haven't done well.
They've talked openly about using that as motivation for this game. Phillips. Oh, baby, that was a pro hit. Get the yellow tape and the body bags. Boy, that was a hard one. No room up the middle that time for Lawrence Phillips.
Here, I want you to watch Darius Holland, number 93, and the linebackers Phil on a straight dive. Stand up the line, boom, here he comes, so load him up. There's 46, the linebacker Johnson, and there's 93, Holland. Could hear that one up here.
Matt Shaw for Nebraska coming out of the game. They bring the chains into measure.
Crowd didn't like the mark. Still not going to be enough for a first.
Next Saturday on ABC, college football regional action. Many of you will see Louisville against Tennessee, Ohio State taking on Wisconsin, plus a Pac-10 game. Check the game in your area and phone your cable company for the pay-per-view game available in your area.
Nebraska brings the punt team in. But I'll tell you this, if I'm on defense, you still have to be very conscious of the fake field goal with the ball being in your own territory. I mean, the fake punt.
Byron Bennett standing on his own 37. That's Chris Hudson you're looking at. The leading punt returner in the Big 8. He's standing on his own 10. Hudson calls for the fair catch at the 14. And that's where Cordell Stewart will take over the offense when we come back. The 36-yard punt. Stewart's got to get it done.
With their eye on the Big Ten title, Ohio State looks to avenge last year's loss to Wisconsin, plus other key regional games, all next Saturday on ABC's College Football.
No question who the two dominant teams have been in the Big 8 over the last few years. Nebraska, Colorado, Nebraska and Colorado tying for the championship. Then Nebraska winning it last year. Colorado trying to get back to the Orange Bowl for the first time in 3 seasons. It's up to Cordell Stewart in the offense right now. Rashawn Salam, who's had a career day rushing the ball, fights his way for 3 tough earned yards. He's tackled by Kevin Ramakers.
Time definitely becoming a factor for Colorado now. can't sit back and just rush the ball the entire rest of the way. They've got to throw. And if Cordell can't do it, they'll have to get somebody else in that can.
Salam with 147 yards today. And a touchdown, averaging 7.3 a pop.
Well, those are great numbers, but there are only 10 points on the board. And you're down 21-10 with 13:55 to go. You've got to start throwing.
We have a player down on the field. That's Kevin Ramakers, the guy I was talking about earlier, the one responsible for dousing Tom Osborne with that Gatorade shower after his 200th win. He said afterwards, when Osborne threatened to get even later, he said, hey, that's the most the guy's talked to me in for my 5 years here.
He's an interesting guy. He overcame knee surgery. He's got that tattoo on his right ankle. Shaved his head last year to show his commitment.
Everyone's All-American. Backside pressure. And Stewart is down for the third time this afternoon. Trev Alberts, the All-American, the doctor of sack, with another one.
Tell you something about Trev Alberts. You don't find him any better. He is an All-American. He's the leading tackler, Butkus Award candidate, semifinalist, comes unblocked from the right side. There's no shot 85 Embry's going to have against Trev Alberts if he sets his mind. He's the sack leader, the leader of the sack, came into the game with 12, has 2 here today.
They knew, Colorado did, coming into the game, that Tony Birdie, the left tackle, would have his hands full with that man right there, Trev Alberts.
He's got 28.5 career sacks. That is a school record at Nebraska.
And you think about some of the players that have played defense for Nebraska. That's a big feat. 3rd and 17. Out of the end zone. And down almost in the grasp, and lets go of it. Picked off. It's ruled an interception. Nebraska has the ball.
Should be an interception. They don't have into grasp in college ball. I don't know what Cordell Stewart was thinking about.
A poor decision by Stewart.
They pick up 34 on the right hand of your screen pretty well, but what they don't get is Moore on the other side. Moore has a good hold on him, and Cordell tries to stay up as long as he can to try to hit his tight end, Fourier. Now watch, he's trying to fight to stay up, tries to go after Fourier, and all of a sudden, this ball's picked off. This is a bad decision on his part. Great effort, but bad decision. He is really struggling today.
Stewart with the pick, and back comes Phillips. Phillips bouncing off a tackle, has about 9.5 and close to another Nebraska first down. 12:41 remaining in the fourth quarter. Nebraska inching closer to the victory.
You have to believe that if Nebraska scores here, it's over.
Some sloppy tackling that time too by the Colorado defense, and you have to give them credit though, because since the second half they've really played tough. They haven't given up a lot.
Well, the offense got only 23 yards in the entire third quarter. Defense was on the field almost the entire time.
They're going to bring the chains in, Tim, and measure for the first down. The Nebraska defense coming up with a couple of big plays, giving them good field position right here.
You have to give Trev Albert a lot of credit for that interception. Even though he didn't get to the quarterback, they doubled him, which freed up the other side. And there is Trev Alberts. He certainly is one of the Butkus Award semifinalists, which we mentioned. So's Ron Warford of Colorado.
Yeah, the Big Eight well represented among Butkus Award semifinalists.
Boy, what a player Trev Alberts is. 6'4", 240. He's out of Iowa. We told you he has a school record for sacks. He's already graduated with a 3.8.
Backside of the eye. Schlesinger and Phillips. Phillips to the short side and down to the 22. He'll lose a few yards. And it looks like Vance Joseph is starting to warm up on the sidelines for Colorado.
We said that last series, if Stewart couldn't get it done, you really have to make a change.
Joseph had a brother, Mickey Joseph, that played quarterback at Nebraska. One of the many ties between these two teams.
Clavel shaking up defensively for Colorado. They're helping him off the field. It's a big loss. He's played well today. He was a nose guard last year. They moved him out to tackle, and he's just flourished out there. Had a huge week last week. 6 tackles for losses, 2 fumble recoveries, an interception.
from the Big Easy. 12 and a half minutes remaining here.
Those were his year numbers I was giving you, his season numbers. He had a big game last week, but those are what he's done for the year. 40 tackles coming into this game.
Second down and 15. Phillips. Nice run down to the 10-yard line. He'll be about 3 yards short of the first down, a pickup of 12.
Let me tell you what happens now. This will bring up third down, as you mentioned, and that's huge. Because if the Colorado defense can hold Nebraska to a field goal, then they're still only 2 touchdowns down. But if it's a touchdown, I think the game's over.
Well, we know what Nebraska's done on third down conversions this afternoon. They've been extremely efficient. They've done well. They've even converted on a fourth down opportunity here. But right now, it is third down and 3 to go. On the option. Behringer keeps it himself. And he stopped 2 yards shy of the end zone. So the understudy, the backup, the role player coming in and getting a critical first down.
I'll tell you, give him a lot of credit, too, because I've been saying, and very much like the Colorado defense has been thinking, with Frazier out, you don't have to worry about him running the ball, so get after the pitch man. So Behringer goes ahead, proves everybody wrong, pulls up, makes a nice read, and gets almost down to the goal line.
Shannon Clavel finally making the tackle. The backs full house set.
You know, the fans threw a snowball, and it hit Ken Malin. I'd throw a flag on that.
I'd throw it back. You know, in all seriousness, that's very dangerous.
Oh, absolutely. And that's got to hurt. Hit him right smack in the back. That thing flew about 45, 50 yards. Watch the left-hand side of your screen. Watch number 62. Here comes the snowball. Bam! Hits him right in the back.
The fullback, Schlesinger, stopped up at the 1-yard line. Clock running with 10:50 remaining in the fourth period.
Boy,
Nebraska.
Something came flying into the pile. That time looked like a carrot or something. I don't know what it was. Hot dog or something.
Hey, it's Halloween. You don't know what you're going to get down there. There's another look at the fullback.
Look, right up the top of the right-hand screen. Did you see that thing come flying in there? I think it's a hot dog.
Second and goal. Phillips stopped up. The unyielding Colorado defense digging in the shadows of their own goalpost. Dwayne Davis, the safety, coming up to make the stop that time. Mike Hankwitz,
defensive coordinator, calling the defense. It's going to be short yardage again, but they're trying to get penetration in the middle. That's what he's telling them.
It's third and goal. Behringer keeps his balance, then gets knocked down at the 10.
I've got to tell you, this is a great goal line stand by Colorado.
A gutsy performance by the defense. Holland that time leading the charge for the tackle.
Colorado has held him from getting a touchdown. That means they keep the Buffaloes within 2 touchdowns.
And Tim, Nebraska had first and goal at the 4.
First of all, Behringer loses his footing. That allows everybody to come and put some pressure on him. By that time, they're all in there. That's a great defensive stand by Colorado.
Byron Bennett coming in to attempt a field goal from 26 yards out. It would give them a 14-point advantage. It's wide. This is not one of his favorite places to kick. He missed a game-tying field goal a couple of years ago. Still interesting. Don't you dare go away. Tonight, a special Halloween treat. The Olsen twins from Full House and Double Double, Toil and Trouble. And then the Paula Poundstone Show, all tonight on ABC.
Pressure now goes to Stewart. He's still in the ball game. He's just 3 for 20, 51 yards, 2 interceptions, 0 for 6 this half.
And he's back to pass. It's incomplete for the tight end, Christian Fourier.
Boy, he is really pressing. You can see it just the way he is dropping back and throwing. His mechanics aren't even normal Cordell Stewart mechanics.
It appears as if he's aiming it rather than throwing the ball.
We don't know what he's doing, but he's certainly not loose, and he's definitely not confident.
That stopped the clock, though. 8:41 remaining in the fourth quarter.
Give a lot of that credit, though, to the Nebraska defense.
On the option. Here's Rashaan Salam. He's had a career day so far. Run out of bounds at the 29-yard line. A yard short of the first down by number 8, Tyrone Williams.
I tell you, this has been a tough game for everybody. The line judge that time was knocked down and comes up limping. Bill Spikesma, the linesman on that side, was taken out.
Bill McCartney, 3 Big 8 titles and 1 national championship. He closed practices to the media early this week, sending a message to the coaches and the players about how serious this game was. Had a chance to visit with him yesterday.
There's the linesman. There's Bill Spikesma. He got his left knee caught under the block that time. He's hurting, but he's going to play with some pain. Look at him saying, oh, man.
It has been a physical afternoon. Colorado just 26 total yards on offense this half. Trying to get it done on the ground. Salam with the first down out to the 35, Tim. It's the first down this half.
See, they're going to let him do that, though. But with 8:30 left in the game, you've got to be thinking about clock management. You got to start throwing the ball. Fans know that, too. Down 11, you got to get 2 touchdowns. Clock continues to move.
Bill McCartney has got to be as frustrated as everyone else with Colorado. And Michael Westbrook has still been shut out. Hasn't caught a ball. Salam, they run again. And Nebraska's defense stringing it out nicely that time. Terry Connealy making the tackle on Salam.
It's amazing to me that they're not throwing the football.
Salam filling in for Lamont Warren. Warren injured his ankle earlier and has not been back since. But Salam hasn't skipped a beat. 7:40 remaining in the fourth period. Second down and 10. Stewart's going to try and complete a pass, and he hits his back. Salam fights his way for about 7 extra yards. Great effort. A 16-yard pickup and a first down for the Buffaloes at midfield.
What a game this kid is playing. This guy played 8-man football in high school. He didn't get to the real deal till he got to Colorado. Finally, Stewart steps up and drills the ball. Hits him between the 1 and the 9. But watch Salam. He makes yardage when there's no hole there. And he carries tacklers out to midfield.
Raymakers finally bringing him down. Westbrook split to the short side of the field. Johnson split wide. Option. Stewart tackled at the 45-yard line. He'll have close to 5 yards on first down. It'll be 2nd and 5.
That play was actually made by Raymakers, who was on the ground.
Clock still moving with 6:45 to play.
Got to throw. You can't throw, then run and throw. Just start using clock management.
It's interesting that this was a pass-happy team. Bill McCartney's team was last year.
Stewart 1 for 8 this half. That may be part of the reason.
Play action. Stewart down at the 46-yard line. Trev Alberts, his 4th sack of the day. Pardon me, that's the team's 4th sack.
Yeah, but he's got 2 or 3 of them.
And when they narrow that list down to the final candidates, he could be a good bet to be on it for the Butkus Award.
He's as good as you'll find. There aren't any better. Tommy Frazier is back. Got a Parker on. No way he'll be back.
He tried it. He was hurt. Went to the locker room, came back and tried it. Called it a day. Big 3rd down right here for Colorado. Stewart completes it to Salam. Salam out of bounds at the 36, and he has the 1st down, and he stops the clock too.
He has now gone over 200 yards, all-purpose yards for the day, total offense.
Picked up 17 on that pass and catch.
Again, it's a play he got earlier for the 1st down. Pretty good move right here on Toby Wright, number 3. That allowed him enough to get to the 1st down before the linebacker Anderson can get over and knock him out. Get him a breather.
Well, right now, the Colorado offense has been Salam run, Salam pass. James Hill gives him a break in the backfield. Hill, off tackle over the right side, has about 8 yards. Back to New York and John Saunders.
Mark, as we reported earlier today, tragic news in Madison, Wisconsin, following the Michigan-Wisconsin game. The field was rushed by fans. We have reports that up to 57 people are injured, perhaps 1 critical, 4 in intensive care. WIBA in Madison reporting this. The players helped clear the injured. We'll continue to report this. Back to you, Mark.
Oh, disheartening news there in Madison. Back here, Cordell Stewart fires incomplete for Michael Westbrook. He was double covered that time. Stewart throwing into traffic, still not getting his reads correct.
No, but the good news is it stops the clock. 5:11 left to play.
Nebraska leading 21-10. Using up a lot of clock, and they don't have clock to use up.
Right now, it's 3rd down and short. You've got to get the 1st down. That'll stop the clock while they move the chains. Then I'd start looking for Westbrook or CJ right now.
They hand it off. Still doing it on the ground. And it's a 1st down for Colorado.
Okay, that'll stop it at 5:07, like we said. They'll move the chains. I'd get him right up to the line, and I'd start looking for Charles Johnson, number 9, or Westbrook deep.
Westbrook still hasn't caught a pass. Clock running with 5 minutes to play.
Got to be up. As soon as they reset the chains and start the clock moving again, you got to be ready to go.
This is the 12th play of the drive for Colorado. Looking for Johnson. Complete. Tackled at the 17-yard line. It's CJ time because it's prime time.
Get him back up. Get him back up. Now you only have 4.5 minutes to go. Colorado has 2 timeouts left. You got to hurry them up, though.
Play coming in from the sidelines. Westbrook split to the short side of the field. Stewart looking at Charles Johnson. Complete at the 8-yard line.
He did not get out of bounds.
No, it's still running.
As a matter of fact, CJ fought to stay in bounds, which was bad.
Now they stop it.
That's just to move the chains. They ought to have this play called, get back up to the line of scrimmage. Plus, when you hurry up like that, it keeps the defense unorganized.
Rashawn Salam coming back into the game. Their main offensive weapon. Did he get out?
CJ didn't get out. As a matter of fact, he fought to get back in. His butt hit inbounds.
First and goal. Salam down to the 5-yard line. And the clock running with 3:40 to play. He's been a one-man crew for them, and there's a flag down on the field. The tackle was made by Ed Stewart.
This is going to be against Nebraska, though. Watch 34, Trev Alberts, of Nebraska, the bottom of your screen here. See if he doesn't get into the neutral zone.
Well, that's
awfully
a tough call.
close.
Yeah, that's a tough call. Hear what the official has to say.
Offside on the defense. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat first down.
That also stops the clock at 3:40.
That's only the second penalty against Nebraska this afternoon. 3:40 to play.
Go to the corner right now.
Okay, let's set it up for you. Westbrook is split wide. Hill and Salam out of the eye. Double tight end set. Salam straight ahead down to the 1-yard line. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 1.
Even a crowd yelling to hurry up.
Alberts and Keneally making the tackle that time for Nebraska.
It's been a terrific drive by Colorado, but they've used an awful lot of clock. 5 minutes and 20 seconds in this drive alone.
And this is the 16th play of the drive. Less than 3 minutes to play. Westbrook in motion. Salam. Touchdown, Colorado.
Offensive line gets a lot of credit here. Opened up a huge hole, and Salam read it and went right through it. Now, do you go for 2? No. That would put you in field goal to tie it, but you don't want that. You've got to go for the win in the Big 8 title. Tie won't hurt you.
High snap, but they get it down, and Berger puts it through the uprights. 16 plays, 80 yards, and Colorado, led by Rashawn Salam, with a touchdown. Tomorrow, defending champion Paul Azinger joins the PGA Tour's top 30 money winners in the final round of golf's richest event, the Tour Championship, live from the Olympic Club in San Francisco. Tomorrow, 3 Eastern, 2 Central here on ABC. It's 21-17. Nebraska leads with 2:54 remaining in the game. Mitch Berger with the kick.
I'd be thinking onside kick here with 2:54 to go.
They go deep, and I mean deep, through the end zone. And Brooke Behringer will come in and start Nebraska's offense at the 20-yard line.
The beauty of that touchback and kicking through the end zone is the fact that the clock never moves. Stays at 2:54.
Do you believe this? Tommy Frazier.
I don't believe it.
And Calvin Jones also back in the game.
How about Nebraska? How about Frazier?
You're putting your best men on the field. A few good men for Nebraska. Frazier keeps it, and you can imagine the pain that he's feeling right now.
Tommy Frazier has left this game twice. He's been to the locker room. He's iced the shoulder. He sat out most of the 4th quarter, and this is why he's back in the game. This is what it means. He's playing for the Big 8 championship for all intents and purposes.
Nebraska coming in at 3-0, 7-0 overall, ranked number 6 in the country.
He's 7 for 17, but he's also run for 76 yards.
Dixon in motion. Jones out to the 25. It'll be 3rd down and 5. Now, Tim, the Nebraska coaches said they wanted him fresh.
Take a timeout here. I don't know why they're walking around. Well, they did. They stopped the clock at 2:03. That'll give Colorado 1 timeout remaining with 2:03 to go in the game.
Back in Boulder, Tom Osborne calling on all of his wisdom from 32 years of coaching, looking for the right play.
Both coaches know this is the ball game right here. A 1st down, and Nebraska will win it.
3rd and 5. And motion, flags down, and there was some movement on the right side of the line.
It looked like Lundberg, the left tackle of Nebraska, flinched. Watch pressure right at the top of your screen, 77. Watch him flinch. Right there. Well, that's all Holland, 93, had to see. He jumped across to make sure the officials saw it. Move him back.
Lundberg, a 300-pound senior, the operative word being senior there. You don't expect a senior to commit that kind of infraction.
That makes it 3rd down and 10. Impact of this play is the same. The ball game rides on it.
They're 1 of 7 in 3rd down conversion situations this half. Frazier's going to pass. And he's sacked at the 18.
Great penetration by the entire defense. Outside containment. You see number 90? He's keeping everything inside. Let all the pressure come. There's 46 Johnson with a sack.
We'll be back in a minute.
Colorado has not blocked a punt since 1989. They're going after this one.
Bennett on his 5. Gets it off, and it's a returnable punt. Chris Hudson at his 29. Hudson out near midfield to the 47 with 1:41 remaining. CFA College Football on ABC, brought to you by American Honda, who's been making quality cars in America for the past 10 years. U.S. Army, learn how to get an edge on life. Be all you can be. UPS, the package delivery company more companies count on. And a light beer with a great imported taste. Amstel Light. Right. I'm Mark Jones along with Tim Brand at Folsom Field. 1:41 remaining. Cordell Stewart's had an awful day, but he has a chance to salvage it here.
Colorado has no timeouts left.
Complete to Christian Fourier. First down at the 39. Stewart drilled it right in.
Clock stops to move the chains. It's at 1:34. Colorado has to get first downs because they don't have those timeouts. This is the only way to stop it unless you get out of bounds.
The ball's at the 40-yard line. Stewart looked good on that pass attempt. Johnson split wide to the bottom of the field. Incomplete and intercepted. It's picked off at the 30 by John Reese.
With Dumas out of the game with an injury, Reese had to move to free safety. Cordell Stewart has struggled all day. Here he had backside pressure. And Reese, the free safety, makes the interception. That ball is badly thrown. Cordell knows it. Oh, what a day.
Tommy Frazier kneeling.
Colorado has absolutely no way to stop it.
Clock running with 1:12 to play. Cordell Stewart has had a miserable day. And Reese, after that interception, ran over to the Nebraska people that made the trip here to Boulder and saluted them.
Cordell Stewart, 8 for 28 today. Completed only 8 passes, 115 yards, and he had 3 interceptions. The All-American Trev Alberts trying to console him.
Flags down on the field.
What a gutsy performance today by Tommy Frazier.
Dead ball foul. Encroachment on the defense. Second down.
Bill McCartney, 3-7-1 against Osborne. Soon to be 3-8-1, barring a miracle. Jim Kelly and the Buffalo Bills taking on the Washington Redskins on Monday, 9 Eastern, 8 Central time.
Terrific game played by Nebraska today. You know, the defense is called the Black Shirts. Earlier this year, inconsistent. They actually called them the Black Skirts at one time. But they played well today. They forced 3 turnovers. And You can't say enough about Tommy Frazier, the quarterback.
You think back to the scoring that was all done in the first half by Nebraska. Corey Dixon set the tone with that big punt return, and Tom Osborne will probably thank him for it. Meanwhile, Bill McCartney and his crew go down to defeat their first in conference play. You're looking at the winningest active coach in Division I football. Osborne improves to 8-3-1 against McCartney. The Chevrolet most valuable players of the game are, who do you think? Tommy Frazier from Nebraska. 7 of 17 passing, 167 yards. Hey, but the numbers don't tell the story. He ran for 70 yards, and he was courageous. Rashawn Salam gets the nod for Colorado. He had a career day, 25 rushes, 165 yards, and a pair of touchdowns, 3 for 37 receiving. Next Saturday, college football, regional action. Louisville, Tennessee, Ohio State, Wisconsin, plus other regional action. I'm Mark Jones for Tim Brent. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. The final score once again from Boulder. It's 21-17. Nebraska defeats Colorado. All right, back here in Boulder, the final score once again, Nebraska. Yeah, they refused to lose today. They win it 21-17 and improve to 4-0 overall in the Big 8 conference standings. They are now 8-0 overall on the season, ranked number 6 coming into the game. Tim, they probably will move up, but the story of the game, a courageous performance by Tommy Frazier and big plays, especially Corey White.
Frazier, you can't say enough about. He left the game twice. They took him into the locker room. They iced his shoulder down. He came back both times and finished the game and came up with the big plays. I was concerned about CU's clock management at the end. I didn't think it was very good. I also would have thought, if I was Bill McCartney, about making a change at quarterback. Cordell Stewart, clearly a great athlete, but today really struggled, and you could see he lost his confidence. Might have been a time maybe to give Vance Joseph a shot.
Yeah, on the positive side of the ledger for Colorado, Rashawn Salam with a career day, not only running the ball, had a lot of yards rushing the ball from scrimmage, but he caught a few passes and looked good on the field.
Over 200 yards, all-purpose yardage today for Salam, but at the same time, I think Bill McCartney felt like he had to run him down the end instead of being able to throw the ball and possibly stop the clock because of the day that Cordell Stewart was having.
So now for Nebraska, the big showdown will be against the Oklahoma Sooners late in November, a traditional game. A game that everyone always looks forward to. And let's take a look at the Big 8 standings as they are right now, the updated standings. Nebraska improving, as I said, to 4-0 overall. And Kansas State, Tim, with a big win today.
Nebraska still has to play Oklahoma, but right now you've got to say the Huskers definitely in command.
And they are thinking, at least thinking about booking some tickets to Miami at the Orange Bowl. Back to wrap it up in a minute. Back in Cordell Stewart, 8 of 28. That's the final interception. Halloween was a horror show for Cordell. For Tim Brand, I'm Mark Jones. See you later.